Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting Playday of Talent League. And let me tell you, we have a juicer here today, WeSports versus qvG. There's a lot to actually talk about in terms of standings of this game and how it'll affect the overall rankings of these teams. But I will get into that in just a bit. First, let me just introduce you, my casting partner, the lovely Wumby. Wumby?
No, bro, you didn't. I didn't
No,
know
just
you wanted me to talk. Okay, hey guys, how are
hi.
we doing today? We do got a good game between two
We do
good
come.
teams.
Mhm,
One of these teams is in first place, and then the second team is in fifth place.
mhm.
This game isn't really all that important to the team that's in first place. They
Yep.
already qualified for the champion series, but the team that's in fifth place, they really need a point or a couple here. That this is a really important game for them here. So it's gonna
hmm
be interesting to see if QVG end up taking this seriously or if they're just gonna meme a little bit, save
Yep.
strats, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I mean, just to confirm, qvG are, I'm pretty sure, guaranteed first. They have two games left to play, including this one and last one, and there are 19. And the only team that could potentially take first is a Machine Soldiers, but even the max points that they can do is 19, and qvG been on round differential. So I'm like 99% sure qvG have first place locked, so it's not really a big deal to them. But to WeSports, it becomes a bit more interesting. So if we can just put the standings on the screen right now, Trippin. Yep. So as you can see, WeSports have 6 games played right now and on 10 points. That means they have to play 3 more games. And if they want to qualify for, if they just want to qualify for the next round to get in the top 4, they need to win the next two. They basically have to win 2 of the next 3 games. So because Nice Gaming and Team Wanted, they play each other in the last payday. So and I'm pretty sure VSports have the round differential on them. It sounds a bit confusing, but basically all you need to know is VSports need to win 2 out of the last 3 games, and they're basically guaranteed qualification. So even if they lose here against qvG, that's basically guaranteed first, which it probably is their best shot of winning against the number one team like this in the competition. So it is their best chance to get a result here. I mean, a draw would be pretty good as well and would help them before round differential wise, just help them get above the last 2 teams. But like I said, they're going to need to get 2 wins at least in their last 3 games, and this is it's not a must win game, like, so. But if they do lose it, it just puts a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
Hmm
It's I'm pretty sure realistically I can see them looking for a draw because QVG have been
hmm
like lights out this season. I don't think
uh-huh.
have they dropped a single like game? Have they?
No, they've not lost
No,
a game. They've
they've
drawn one.
drawn.
They've drawn
Yeah.
one, not lost any.
So realistically, Wii Sports or previously known as the Blue Jay Youngsters, I feel like realistically they are going to be looking for a point here. If they can
Hmm
manage the 3 points, that would be perfect, and then that puts them in a good spot for their next 2-3 games.
Yep.
And I don't know, but looking at the maps that we got today, we have Villa and we also have Coastline. Both of these
hmm
maps are very good maps for QVG. They have a lot of good maps. They've been
Every
good
map.
on almost
They're
every
good at
map
every
that
map.
they played. But I feel like Villa and Coastline, these maps in particular,
Hmm
are really they're more in their favor. They're a very aggressive team. They like to take a lot of map control easily. And,
hmm
on Coastline's a very small map. It's easy to take map control, etc. on. And Villa is just about the same way if the defenders are way too passive. So it'll be interesting to see how both of these teams with their play styles end up colliding with one another.
Yep.
Um, I don't know because I've only watched like I think 1 or 2 games of Blue Jay Esports, whereas I've seen a couple from QVG, so it's hard for me to pinpoint Wii Sports play style.
hmm I mean, just going off map stats here, both qvG, for the stats that we actually have, which is the recorded or stream games, both of these teams have played Coastline once, and both of these teams have won Coastline 7-1. So stats show that both of these teams are very good at Coastline. So we can expect to see probably a really good game here. And just to add on to a little point that I forgot to mention earlier is that the last 2 games that V Sports will have to play, or ex Blue Jays, they have to play against LFO and Baker Boys, 2 teams that are in the lower half of the division. So it'll probably be an easier time trying to, win those 2 games. So, a kind of result here. Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say is it's not a must-win game, but if they win this, it puts a lot of pressure off their shoulders for those last 2 games because they only have to win 1 of 2. I mean, Wami, is there anything else you want to add? Because I'm kind of drawing a blank of what to say. Because I think both teams are ready here, so we can just jump straight into the game, right? Yeah. All right, let's jump into the game. Let's go. Villa. Also, forgot to say we are playing Villa first and then Coastline. I think Wami mentioned it, but not sure if they mentioned the order. So, I mean, Wami, what do you think? Wami? Hello, Wami? Or to
Lord,
Wami?
hello.
Oh.
Sorry, I was speaking this whole time, but for some reason, oh my god, it's a hot mess. But were you asking about the map, or were you asking about like just like
What do you
what were you
think?
asking about?
What's your prediction for the game?
My prediction, I think
Hmm.
it depends. We got the first band coming out, which is Zero, which is surprisingly enough on a map like Villa. I'm pretty sure Thatcher is gonna come out right next. No,
Oh.
oh, we got Thatcher on the board. Okay, but in terms of predictions, I'm quite literally the worst with predictions because I will say one team is it. I could say one team would win and then the other team does. I just cast a curse everything that I speak on, but I
Hey,
feel
bro.
like it depends on how qvG plays, depending on if they take this seriously or not. And I won't blame them if they don't, because I mean they're already qualified for the champ
Hmm.
series. They already have their ticket. They don't really need to do anything more. This is a must win for WeSports. However, so it depends on how seriously, like I said, how seriously qvG take it. If they don't take it seriously, WeSports should win this one comfortably. But if qvG are at their best today, then I could see them taking this pretty comfortably for themselves.
I mean, I guess we'll find out in round 1 right here if qvG are, having a bit of fun and memeing around, or if they're gonna take this as seriously as they've taken every single game before this. I mean, they might not know for themselves that they've already guaranteed, first place. So they might still be trying to get that 1 point just to put themselves on that magic 20, which will guarantee them like without round differentials, nothing like that. And that might be a reason that these two teams will, or not these two teams, that QVG will be trying to win at least one of these 2 maps. Or maybe, they've already realized and, like you said, are just going to have a bit more fun. I mean, we will find out in literally a few seconds as the round will start. I mean, the lineup seems pretty natural. So I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary here. Maybe an odd pick in the
Attackers need to
castle, not
locate and
really.
defuse as many
Oh,
bombs
never
as
mind.
they
They're going
can.
living room. Okay, never mind. It's completely justified then. So
Oh lord.
I thought they were going, a more I won't say standard side, a more, used side, a more often picked side, which is upstairs either in
Attackers have
trophy or
discovered
in
the location of a
aviation.
bomb.
And we've seen these holes before. They're, I think, popularized by a LATAM team who I can't remember the name of. Was it Immortals? I'm not sure, but I think it was a LATAM team who was the original user of this, or the maker of this strat, which is to hold living room and library
10
completely
seconds
from
left.
above, using these holes inside of Vault that you can see the smoke making right here. It's a very, very strong setup as well. It's hard for the attackers to challenge these gunfights unless they know exactly, what the defenders are holding, and a lot of angles, the shields, ADSs and stuff. It becomes a problem, let's just say.
Almost every from I think I've said this last week when I was casting Villa as well. That almost every site has destructible floors above or beneath them. Like almost that's the nice thing about Villa. It's like despite how defender sided it is, the strong suit for its hackers is the fact that there's a plethora of vertical angles, a plethora of vertical plays
Mhm.
that can happen on this map, because literally almost every floor as you see fills in bathroom right here. There's a wooden floor. I can't remember if this is above pantry and kitchen, but almost every floor that's like in Villa is soft.
True.
It's destructible. You can make vertical angles for days on this map, and that's why Buck is so good on this map. I mean, Sledge is okay, but that's why Buck is so commonly used on this map. That's why if teams are going to Aviator games, you see Buck commonly used to Buck from below in
Mhm.
Library to push those defenders out of positions. But that's not how you want to push a defender out of position, because it's just pits to get the first kill of the game onto critical, and that's the Nomad gone. So if the air jabs aren't already placed, I'm going to fear for this WeSports side, because that's their flank watch gone, and there goes the air jab working for WeSports, and it's Xerac to get the trade right back onto just Pit. So just as quickly as they lost the man advantage, they gain the equality, but then they lose it again, but then they gain it right back. It's equal man count between these both teams. Inside, I would say a minute has gone by in this round, and then there goes the kill for Kex. Jesus Christ, there's just, it wasn't that much going on within the first minute, and now we have so many kills going on at this point.
Yep, I mean, it's a sign of a really good team to be able to be refragging, you know? When you see that kind of stuff happening, which is not really anything happens, and then suddenly a flurry of kills, it's a sign of a good team because, you know, they're refragging each other, and then the enemy team is refragging the refragger, and it goes in a back and forth chain for a couple of times. And you can often see that, especially in Pro League, where the caster is just casting, and then suddenly everyone dies, and then they're just kind of left with what am I supposed to do? And that's kind of what happened there, you know. A lot of people died, and we left into 2v2 with around a minute left, or 3/4 of a minute left, as these two players up. WeSports are going to be able to open up a lot of the floor because the Sledge is still alive, as well as the Zofia, who has a lot of her breaching charges. And these defenders are playing far back as, oh, is that the foot spotted out by Hunter? I'm not sure if that was through the wall or not. It looked like the foot was seen, I'm not really sure, but it looks like with only 20 seconds left, both of these players are going to go for the drop, and it's going to be a bit difficult here as none of the defenders have been spotted out by the attacker. The smoke grenade goes out as the Sledge spots the castle as a first kill comes out, and it's all down to F2 on this smoke with such a sliver of HP left. He's not going to be able to do anything that round as Zarok on this Sledge cleans up the last two defenders, and a good attacking first round from WeSports.
Trades, you talked about it a little bit. The trade game that went on between these two teams was so powerful, and it wasn't like WeSports, like after getting the first pick against them, didn't just back down and let it happen again and again and again. They had some strong trade favors going in their favor. I mean, Xerac having a really good round. You know, whenever his teammates were dead, he was almost always in a position to refrag them. And if there's one thing you can ask from your fragger, you know, in this case, which is Xerac, I mean, Hunter is also one of their main fraggers as well. It's when your support players die or when your flex players die, is that you have those players in those positions to refrag them, and that's good. I mean, on attack, you don't want your teammates to be so far away from each other to the point where the trade value is next to none, and your positioning is a waste for your team. It doesn't end up with anything good because you don't have that trade value or something like that. It was good. It was basically a good round. The trades worked in their favor. Xerac having a 4K, almost getting the ace, and him and Hunter ultimately working together to help win that round for their team.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty close one as well. You know, time was ticking down, ended up in a 2v2 in the very dying moments of the round. Could have easily gone either team's way if that one final gunfight between the Sledge and the castle, I think, who was alive. It was qvG on the castle there. If he manages to get that kill there, then, you know, qvG wins that round, and, you know, we'll be talking a very different story. But, you know, we've come to trust in Zarok's fragging potential in these final few seconds. Speaking of frags, you can see F2 gets one before getting traded off by Spliz as Goody picks up another, and a lot of action is going down in this pantry section as Spliz on such low HP is going to be able to back out, and with his finger charges he's going to be able to heal himself back up as this drone is going to actually spot a member of qvG Academy, and if the player here is critical, if he manages to get this kill, which I don't think he can. Oh, actually, through the window he might be able to. So he managed to get that kill, and he does. He brings the team back into a 3v3. I was a bit afraid there because the yellow team was not in the best of positions, if there even was one. And actually, look at here, the team of WeSports have actually walked into side already. I don't think they're aware, but they actually are of the person playing behind the bomb, as all the players of qvG are just cluttered behind here. This round has gone so much faster than the other one. Only a minute gone in this round, and it's already looked like it's gonna come to its climax as Hunter gets that first pick, and now it's down into a 3v2. Goody and Googie, two players left on the clock in the game, as Goody picks up a kill actually, and it brings it back into 2v2, and Goody picks up another one as Critical picks up a kill as well, bringing it into a 1v1. This is as close as you can get, and there's still a lot of time left on the board if Critical wants to take it a bit slower. You know, he can afford to take it, you know. He can do that, and he's doing exactly that because the drone comes out. Diffuser is dropped really far away in pantry, so most likely it's going to be a frag game, as Goody is on such low HP, a single bullet, and he dies, I'm pretty sure. And Critical, he does have a lot more HP, but, you know, one headshot, and that's pretty much it. And then air jab actually comes out, and Goody decides not to shoot it, and instead opts to play for a more silent game, moving himself in a position here to maybe Critical will not see him, and if Critical decides not to, check this angle, Goody's gonna get pretty much a free kill, and Critical here doesn't check it, and Goody's sneaky plays ends up winning him the round. I mean, that is a really, really nice play coming out from Goody. Just before I give it back to 1B here to talk a bit about what actually happened in the round, just the fact that, decides not to shoot the air jab because, Critical won't expect him to be that close to the door on the left side, and he gets that round win.
Yeah, he probably thought that's actually, you said it perfectly there. The fact that it was a smart play of him to not shoot the air jet, because Goody in that situation, not Goody, Critical in that situation would have thought that he was still behind the bar, had he not shot it, quote unquote. But if he had shot it, then that would have told Critical, oh, he readjusted his positions, or he's still behind there, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I think if he would have shot it, he would have probably fooled Critical into thinking that he was back there anyways. I don't know. That's what I would have thought if I were in Critical's position. But it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was a good round for qvG, but that was really close. It was a good round from both teams. It was really balanced up until the last gunfight, which ultimately went Goody's way. And now we see qvG Academy go straight for a more common site that we see inside of comp play, which is Aviator Games. And this site is actually one of my least favorite sites to play. I like watching it in comp, but playing it, I feel a little bit, not stuck, but I feel stuffy. I feel claustrophobic.
It feels jumpy, especially as a defender. Just you don't feel safe anywhere. Like, I feel like, especially after the strats on Villa developed to have that left wall unreinforced and have like a line of like, there's a line so you can see through it. You know the wall I'm talking about, right? The one on, I think it's Aviator side. Yeah, ever since they added that into the meta, and that's become the kind of norm. The site just feels very jumpy, holding these top main stairs and stuff. As someone who is an APAC player and often plays with EU, it's hard to play on high ping, especially when I'm trying to play with friends and stuff. And yeah, let me tell you firsthand, it's not something that you want to do. So enough about my sufferings in rank. We can talk about what's actually happening in this game. And I think last round was actually a rush round, and we didn't really see much of it at the start, and that's why the round actually ended so fast. But I think qvG. Not qvG, WeSports, who are attacking here, are going to opt to take it at least a little bit slower. And like you pointed out in round 1B, Zarok opting to bring the sledge instead of the buff means that he's not going to be able to get, that vertical play, especially on a site that is above, and that does matter a lot considering, like you said again, how much of the floor is destructible. You can get so many angles here to just stop the defenders from just holding into sight. The fact that, no buff, no vertical play, it's going to be a bit of a problem. But WeSports, or previously Blue Jays, we've seen them before on different, on Villa before in like different maps and stuff, and they seem to do just fine. So I'm not really too worried about them. As Hunter picks up that first kill onto F2.
The thing about Sledge is that while he doesn't have the skeleton key in hand, he does have those nades that he can use from below to be able to get those like tricky nade kills. And if his team are droning out like really well for him, then they could obviously use yellow pings or red pings to get a more definite. Oh god, that's a gunfight between Just Pit and I think that was Hunter. Hunter's able to sniff out Just Pit in that small little corner. I mean, he was on a sliver of HP. The M7 could take out anybody with that HP. He does just that. It's probably going to be another kill for Hunter. Hunter going absolutely nuclear this round. Blizz following that up with the kill. Now leaving Goody in the 1v2 situation. He's in this hallway, but Zarek is going to hop up and down behind a shield or go up and down these stairs using those shields against the defender, and he's able to confirm that round for his team. The shield's working, not really working there for qvG. I mean, ultimately the attack didn't really come. I think they were expecting like a 90 push or a master bedroom take, because usually teams do that anyways, and that's probably what the shield setup was for. But ultimately we saw something a little bit well, not even a little bit different, because also that study balk and that study area is also most commonly attacked, because that site, as hard as it is to defend, it's very hard to attack as well, because you can only come in from two ways, and if the defenders know exactly where you're coming from, then it's easier for them to deny that push.
True. I mean, the double chair setup, like you said and pointed out to. I mean, first of all, I just saw. Did you see that ADS? It was like on top of the staircase, like hanging over. Like if you're the observer, it was like on the wall next to the bench that's facing downwards, and I was really confused when I saw that because I was like, how the heck did he put the ADS over there? Maybe we'll put it down there again. We'll see. We can just watch Goody here. But yeah, like you said, the WeSports, I don't know if they read into the kind of whole qvG was doing, or if they just did one of their standard takes and just got a bit lucky. I wouldn't say lucky is the right word, but just like decided to go for a take, and qvG's just got unlucky on what kind of take they did. But they didn't really have that much setup. I'm not even sure if they had a much setup on main stage. I mean, the Vamai is banned. No, the Vamai is actually unbanned. That's wait. Okay. Wait. The Vamai was he played last round? Wait,
yeah, he was played last round.
Okay, he was played last round. So I'm just losing my mind here. But yeah, you're used to seeing the Vamai play on the top side of the shield. I'm just surprised they've opted to bring a Melusi to maybe counter the aggressive plays and the aggressive pushes coming out from WeSports, and I think that's kind of the pick that's changed here instead of playing for a more nade game. And you can see a pre-played default Nitro. Would you call that default? That's the one that goes into kitchen, I'm pretty sure, right? But not it goes into bathroom, not kitchen. It goes from it's into Astro actually. Oh.
That's just wow. That's actually a new. Well, that's not a new one. I mean, every single fucking floor on this fucking map, sorry, is like destructible. It's so Nitro cells are just, oh my god. This is why I think this is why I don't like Villa mostly, is because you feel so unsafe as a defender, despite how defender sided this map is, but you also feel really unsafe as an attacker. As the Nitro cell does go off, it doesn't claim a single life. Xerox and Spliz not walking into that one. They saw it explode and then they backed it right up. That's kind of funny. But a minute and 50 going into this round, and I kind of want to harp on the point that you made about the Melusi. I think that's what I noticed a lot about WeSports, is the fact that they, like, I talked about how qvG take map control really aggressively and really quickly. WeSports are doing that in this game as well. I've only watched like 1 or 2 games from them, and I don't remember how they did their attacks, but I remember how good Xerox and Hunter were for them, and how instrumental they are to these aggressive like pushes. You see a player in 90, you see a player on a 90 window, and you also saw a foot to the drone hole. But they're going to opt to get this wall with the ace charges. A couple of shots going between the two teams, F2 and Kex getting lit up, while the only player getting lit up was Spliz, and then the only player to die for WeSports is actually going to be Critical on that Nomad. I think she already placed her Nomad, her air jabs down. If not, that's pretty irresponsible, but I'm pretty sure she did. 55 seconds left to go, and I mean, it looks like the Melusi's probably work. I don't think I see any Melusi gadgets going off to slow down this push. Oh my god, that's unlucky. M2 swinging on Spliz and claiming that kill, leaving WeSports in the 5v3 situation.
I mean, not the end of the world here, and if you look at the position of Kex here, he could maybe get another one as a sledge comes out, doesn't really check the angle, and he just walks into a crossfire as qvG clean up a lot of kills, as, just Pat picks up the last kill. I think it's just Pat. It might be Pit. Just Pit. Pit. Whenever there's an X, you just gotta substitute a vowel. I pray that's the right one. Pat, Pit, it could be Put, it could be, Pot, just Pot, which would be an odd name, but it there could be a few different ones. I mean, I just want to talk about, even though qvG won that round in really good fashion, WeSports have been actually attacking this map very well, in the sense that they kind of understand what qvG are doing and are alternating, like, they're being aggressive one round, and the next round they're taking it slow, and they're baiting qvG almost into picking ops, like qvG switching off the Wamai there, which probably would have been a better slip. And Osa gets picked here, and we'll see how well Osa does in this match here. I'm actually excited to see it. But yeah, like I was saying just a bit earlier, the WeSports are just kind of baiting qvG into picking kind of the ops that are wrong for that particular situation, because I don't think Melusi got much value there, because qvG WeSports decided to play it slow, and on the rounds that WeSports are playing it fast and hard style, they're bringing a Vumai, which doesn't really offer much value, because short time. So I just want to point out, WeSports, intentional or unintentional, VOD review, not VOD review, is intent. Like, basically what I'm trying to say is WeSports are doing very well against qvG in terms of attack, even though they lost that last round flawless. It's just something I want to point out.
I'm sorry, I was still thinking about when Eric sledged into the city. into study, and then I literally saw a player to his right. And I was like, he has to know he's there. And he looks to his left first. I mean, there was a player to his left and right. There was nothing he could do, but I just thought that was funny that he just like, yeah, he was waiting there with the sledgehammer. He was like, I'm gonna catch him off guard.
5 seconds remaining.
No one expects the late study player. No one.
Nobody.
Attackers' objective to locate a bomb and defuse it.
I have the literal brain of like, you know what? See, I have no brain. That's why I got stuck there. But we're going to trophy statuary for this site, and it looks like qvG don't want to take. I mean, they did win kitchen. They don't want to take the risk with a library because that's what they tried at first. Library is one of the more uncommon sites, and you see the OSA in action here. Critical taking the OSA over the Nomad, and I wonder what the decision is behind the OSA here. I mean, OSA is really good on these window plays, and as you can see, she's placing the shield on the window, and she's just hiding behind it. She's waiting for one of these players to get like foolish and try and peek her. But just Pit might be to her demise because the one weakness about OSA shields is obviously explosives. And just Pit has one right there. So if he places a nitro cell on his shield, he could get a free kill. But also the Runegate is right there. See, yeah, the Runegate is right there, so it would burn this thing out. That's
true. The Runegate's actually working in his favor on that window, preventing any C4 from coming out on him. But, you know, that can be for a moment because Blaze pushes in and gets that person playing on those Astro stairs. And now that person doesn't think about that C4, and I can just imagine he was thinking about timing it perfectly to when this last moment went out as Hunter picks up another kill onto Goody and bringing it back into a 5v3. Kex brings one back, and now it is a 4v3 onto Critical of the OSA that person playing on Astro Window as he goes for another really aggressive skin peak actually and almost wins that. But unfortunately for him, he was against Hunter, one of the best fraggers in the game, and Hunter picks up that kill. As you can see, as Sir Googie being aggressive here, wants to get these kills, but he puts himself in a really bad position and doesn't really, you know, is not really able to get the impact frag after that, as the rest of the run gets cleaned up in terms of numbers, and refrags as Zaro picks up his last kill onto F2. And yeah, I mean, it just kind of blanked there for a few seconds because I was just thinking about poor Googie. He got a kill and then he just had to run away into the waiting arms of two WeSports attackers. It's not the best of like. If he wide swung that door, maybe he would have gotten more. But yeah, that was unfortunate.
I mean, overall, good round, good push from WeSports to recognize the weakness in qvG's defense. And I talk about map control a lot, but you know, using the aggressiveness, you know, taking the initiative,
Yep.
and not only taking that map control, but also eliminating the players that wouldn't expect them to be in certain areas of the maps, and taking like I said, taking advantage of that, and it puts them in a good position because this is the last round that we have until we make the big switch for WeSports to go into defense and qvG to go on attack. And the last site that we have before we do this big switch is actually again trophy statuary. qvG looking to remedy their mistakes. Is that the saying? Yeah, remedy their mistakes. Oh man, I'm so bad at my sayings. Remedy their mistakes, and just repeat with probably repeat their whole setup game because it doesn't look like they changed much from the lineup. But do better, basically.
Win the gunfights. Don't go away the free picks, you know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Don't get caught off guard. That's easier said than done. Also, hitting your shots is easy. Also, hitting heads is easier said than done.
Just win it once. Siege is a game. You win only once. You win the game. That's all you have to do. Who cares about this utility? Who needs that? Just win your gunfights.
Yeah, but not everybody can be Psycho, unfortunately, or Bolo, as much as people would like to be. But
oh my God.
I digress. It looks like a full study or a full Southside push coming in from WeSports. They're diverting from the last push that they did, which was from Master Bedroom, and they're switching it up to opt out for this study slash aviator slash bar slash 90, whatever push this is. It's on the Southside. We all know what it is. And this push actually does work out pretty well for the attackers at times. So does the Master. master bathroom push does as well. But I kind of like this push a lot more than the master bedroom bathroom site,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. It's just a bit different.
Yeah, it's one of the more safer pushes just because of the simple fact that above those main stairs, is it's completely indestructible. So the possibility of getting C4'd is just slightly less compared to some of the other sides. You know, it feels
Attackers have
much
dropped the
safer to
bomb
push into
diffuser.
here, easy to get the drones,
Attackers
but that
recovered
can be
the
put onto
bomb.
hold for just a minute as a flurry of kills come out from both teams as
The
refrags go
attacker's
out,
bomb
and
diffuser
you know the
has been
team that is on
dropped.
top is
Attackers have
WeSports as
recovered the
Blizz gets
diffuser.
that last kill in that refrag fest, and now it is down into a 3v4, and WeSports, you know, switching it up yet again, like you said, instead of going from master bedroom, they decide to take it from aviator this time, and you can clearly see it's worked out for them. But they still have a lot of time, a minute 20 left on the clock to be able to push into the side to get all these kills. They can afford to take a bit more time droning. They have the man advantage. Actually, speaking of drones, they only have one left on the board. Actually, looking at that, and that is with Hunter. So maybe not with the drones, as Googie gets a kill onto Saro. So brings it back into 3v3 as, you know, just Pit brings the
Attackers dropped the
swing to
diffuser.
Hunter and with that second one from Icox. That was a very nice shot. As now it's all onto Spliz as F2 swings around to help his teammate and gets that frag, and you know, just Pit with a very, very nice shot to get that second kill on that refragger. And Spliz tried his best in the end. Not really anything else he could do, and this is gonna be an even 3-3 split. Honestly, pretty satisfied for both teams. You know, both the sides have played very well in this first half.
Yeah, not one team has completely dominated over the other. And like I said, even if qvG are actually playing like how they usually play, they're not
Yeah.
like they're not taking this seriously. They seem to be taking this seriously. They're not doing anything
Mm-hmm.
out of the ordinary. And he get the buck six picked onto the IQ. I just want to see some buck plays. That's all.
True.
Is that is that too much to ask?
I guess so. I mean, just I think it's just because of
Attackers need to
the
locate
pulse
and
being brought
defuse
in.
bombs.
You know,
Ah, that's okay. I didn't notice the pulse actually.
it's one of those like mind games that I talked about one of the previous casts. Is like, oh, because I've put pulse on the starting screen, they're gonna think I'm gonna six pick off of him, which means that he's gonna be a safe pick for me to go, rather than me not picking him and then six picking into him, which makes them think that, you know, there might be one and they might bring it's a whole mind game thing. You know, it's this happened and then this happened in the layers. It goes very deep when you start thinking about it, but we won't we will not talk about that. Let's instead talk about, you know, the setup here, as we're gonna see a kitchen defense coming out first from the side
10
of
seconds
WeSports
left.
as Smoke takes around like 5 or 6 damage jumping from that hatch through the shield. I didn't
5
even know he
seconds
could
to
do that,
insertion.
but he takes like a small amount of damage there, and he's gonna have
Attackers must
the
locate and
FMG. Actually, I didn't
defuse
even
the
notice
bomb.
he has the FMG. No shotgun. I guess because Blizz is bringing the shotgun, you don't really need a shotgun. But usually, out of the two players, the Mute is the one that brings the MP5 just because it's a better gun, and the Smoke is the one who brings the shotgun. But the Smoke is being played by Hunter, who we know is not rhetorically. That's not the word. What's the word I'm thinking of? He's one of the most prolific fraggers in Talent League that we know, always
Yes.
getting a lot of frags every single game. What was the word I was trying to think of? Not rhetorically. Hmm.
I think it was
Realistically,
uh,
however, prolific. It's gonna slip my mind.
prolific.
Forget about that.
Yeah, not prolific makes a lot of sense. I was him. Okay, see, Goody's going to take out the man I was just going to
Casted curse.
compliment, which was
Casted
Hunter,
curse.
and it's now a 5v4 very early on into the game. But like, I wanted to talk about Hunter a little bit, but I'll save it for next
Bomb
round because
located by
he's not
attackers.
in this round at the moment. But I do want to talk. Another player that I wanted to talk
A
about
bomb
was
has been
Just Pit
located.
as well. Just Pit has also been one of my favorite fraggers. Well,
Mm-hmm.
from the few games that I watched of qvG, when we can like cast him, he's been one of my favorite fraggers to watch in Talent League as well. And if there's an MVP to give to one of these players, if there's like a best fragger award you could give to a player within Talent League, as Just Pit makes his way up red stairs, and it looks like he's going to try and hunt down a Jaeger of Zerak. Zerak having a pretty good game himself, but it looks like Just Pit is going to catch him off guard, and he is, and that's another kill for qvG Academy. A 5v3 with a minute and 20 left to go, but I'll continue on with my point later because he is showing us why he's probably one of the more prolific fraggers alongside Hunter in Talent League. I mean, he moves in so quickly. He's able to claim so much map control, and then on top of that, he has the frags to do it, to pull that off, or the aim to pull off those frags actually.
Mm-hmm. mean, yeah, nice look play from him coming out. I'm sure the only reason that not Hunter Starrock was maybe not taking his angles is because he was expecting maybe one of his teammates to be watching 90 cam to watch top red, and he's like, how did this guy get in here? Not really sure, just maybe unlucky timing there. Because it seems a bit odd as Just Pit picks up his second kill of the round as, ooh, a very nice shot coming up as Blizzard actually, as Goody nades himself, bringing it into a 1v3 as it's all down to Icox on such low HP. The hipfire from the G8 managed to do the job there. And I'm not sure what happened with Goody. He nades himself, but doesn't really matter in the long run, as the round will not be remembered for that because, as you can see, qvG win out that first run. Largely because of the entry game of Just Pit that you were talking about, the fact that he can just walk into site for not walking to site, sorry, walking to the map and get a lot of the map control that they needed in the round, get a lot of those early picks, putting his team in a really good position to execute onto site overall. And yeah, it was really good from him as we're going to be going into this second round and it's going to go to Aviator this time.
Yep, Aviator is they don't go back to Kitchen, and I mean fair on them. They did kind of get I think they got not steamrolled, but they did get it was most definitely
Looked on. They got
comfortable
looked on.
one.
Defenders, protect
Yeah,
your
okay,
bombs
yeah,
from being
there you go.
defused
I
by
didn't want to say
attackers.
it because I didn't think that was I didn't think think it was gonna sound fair coming out of my mouth. But instead they go to Aviator Gaming. And I said I don't really like this site for many different reasons. You just feel so cramped as a defender. It's also a little bit hard to attack because there's only like 2 ways you can really enter the site or 2 ways that you can really attack the site. There's no different way to attack the site. There's only 2, and those are the most effective for attackers, although the win rate for attackers, I feel like it's 50-50 or really not that great on the site. But I mean, the difference here that I see with this lineup, the Legion being brought out, and also the Bandits. And I wonder what their game plan is with the Bandit. I feel like with the Legion is to slow down the attackers because they know that qvG gets map control so quickly. But with Bandit, I'm not too sure. I know he bandits walls, but Kaid can do the same thing.
I mean, also you gotta keep in mind the Kaid is not banned, like you said, so bringing a Kaid makes more sense. And also the fact that just nading stuff from below because of how destructible the floor is, we've talked about it so many times already. It just doesn't make much sense to bring a bandit when the Kaid is also unbanned. So the only logical assumption is the fact that he wants to play on the MP7 because it's a pretty high fragging gun, and that is literally the only reason I can think of that you would bring bandit or Kaid in this situation. Kaid has a nitro as well, so I don't really.
Yeah,
Wait, does Kaid still have a nitro? It hasn't been taken out in the patch, right? That I haven't been paying attention to.
Nah,
No,
Kaid
okay.
still has nitro. I was like sitting here like, oh wait, Bandit has a nitro and Kaid doesn't. Yeah, Kaid has
No,
a nitro.
no, Kaid has in the past a lot more stuff. And arguably, you know, I would say Kaid has a better gun. I do like the AUG, and I do think the TCSG is also a very, very fine gun to play with. And I mean, just look at the drone game from qvG. Can we just appreciate how much map info they get from these few drones? And the fact that just Goody's just been sitting on these drones, like a good teammate, good support player, watching stuff, and Pit gets into almost a really, really good early engagement and gets an early pick. But unfortunately for him, the bars in the way block a lot of those bullets, not all of the bullets. And qvG kind of, you know, biding the time a little bit. A minute 30 gone. They haven't really gotten much of the map control they wanted yet. It seemed that they wanted to do a push on to that Aviator side through study, but critical dies, and so does Googie. I just had a plan. I thought for some reason I thought WeSports got a 2K there, and that's what's getting hyped up for them, but it was just a trade. Never mind. My brain just works in mysterious ways there. But it is a 4v4, and Splays on these main stairs almost gets needed, and Smarty decides to go back to site. With only a minute left on the clock, his smoke grenades are going to be a very valuable tool in these final seconds.
Yeah, at this point, qvG, it seems like they switched from their usual to I think they seem kind of stuck. Kex doesn't seem stuck as wait. They had 2 kills going their way? Oh my god, I was not paying attention. Kex is able to make this a 4v3 with 40 seconds left to go. And qvG are in study. They have most of their players in study or in this 90 corridor hallway with only 3 players on the side of WeSports. You have a player below and Hunter, and then you have 2 players on side. That's Coxie and Spliz. And I mean, Spliz with this smoke is going to be very crucial, but he's going to be taken out by just Pit. And it's now a 4v2, but qvG have 20 seconds left to go.
15
Diffuser's
seconds to
going to
go.
go down, and they're already in sight. There goes the kill from Goody, and there goes the kill from just Pit. The diffusal plant, or whatever you want to call it, the planting the bomb, that some people call it, even though that's not the bomb, that's just the diffuser kit, was happening behind bar, and then you had 2 players in like the far corner of sight, and then 1 player right behind the bar next to the planter. So I mean, good cover from qvG. But the drone game before that we saw that you harped on, that's why just Pit is like really has done so good this season, and it's because of the intel gathering from qvG as well. Their drone game is just so strong, and their intel gathering is so strong as well.
All right, and we just got an update from the minor league game. So if you're a bit interested, AutoCAD versus MDS Factory. AutoCAD win that map 7-5 with Bo, the player dropping
Defenders,
14
protect
kills
your
on
bombs
Clubhouse
from being
here.
defused
So
by
you know,
attackers.
just a bit of tidbit if you're a bit interested in the minor league as the same. The match is happening at around the same time. But yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say in that last round, which is just a bit sad, is Hunter was just a bit too slow on that flanked game. You know, if he came in a few seconds earlier, he could have probably helped his team and maybe could have turned that entire situation around, because you know, 2 players on side. I think maybe qvG thrown into side, pushed in. Regardless of that, you know, Hunter going for a really flank play. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and on that occasion it was a bit too slow and it didn't work out. As qvG, I think for the first time in this game, win
10 seconds
consecutive
left.
rounds. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the first first time we've seen in this map
5
that a
seconds left.
team has won consecutive rounds, period, because it's been very back and forth for both of these teams, winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one. So qvG put themselves on the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they only have 2 rounds left to go, or a round left to go before they put themselves on match point, and then another round after that before they take this map fully, and then, you know, after that we get Coastline. And I mean, I'm ready for a Coastline, but I want to see more Villa, because I think this is probably one of the more interesting Villa matches that I've seen in a while. Both of these teams, again, I said it, like, both of their play styles, I'm interested to see how both of these teams will play Villa. I've seen qvG play, I think, this week. Whereas
Bomb
with
located by
WeSports,
attackers.
or no, last known as Blue Jay Youngsters, I haven't really seen them on Villa, or I haven't seen a lot of them to know what they play like. But they've impressed me so far with their plays and whatnot on this map. It's been really decent from both teams, but it seems to be, again, this quick map control that we've talked about from qvG being established here, as they move in quickly from Study into 90 into Aviators, and it looks like they're going for this full south side take.
True, and you can just see they've already entered into the building, made a good progress on the kind of map control they want to take here, and a pretty quiet. I think it's the longest round we've had before a single pick so far. 1:30 almost gone,
Attackers
entirely without a single gunfight happening. You know, WeSports deciding to not play as aggressive. Well, as soon as I say that, Zarok picks up the first kill onto Pit, probably the best player on attack so far for qvG, making those entry spaces for his team. So it's going to be interesting to see how qvG adapt to that and see which of the players step up to help their team enter side to get that bomb down, as F2 does exactly that. Well, it doesn't really help him enter side, but he gets that refrag onto Critical here. Critical not really having the best of games, 3 and 8. Actually, Icox as well, not really having the best of games. Kind of unusual for him. Usually you see him at the top of the leaderboard, as Goody picks up that kill and puts the man advantage back into the hands of qvG, as F2 spots out the Kaid as well, and now he can basically get a freebie here if he jumps in. The flash grenade is going to come out here, as he's maybe going to go for a jump in, but no, he opts instead to just go back onto that drone and see if he's still there for giving information to his team. And with the man advantage, he can afford to do that, as the yellow pings are coming out, and somehow the Kaid survives, I think, swinging out from that corner, and he managed to go into bedroom, and now it's into a 3v3. Granted, WeSports have less HP than the other team of qvG, but with only 30 seconds left, the entries have to come into sight, and it's going to be a massacre, as they're going to be walking into crossfires left and right. But the 2v2 turns into a 2v1, and then now it's a 1v1. Googie versus Spliz. The location is known for both sides. Googie has 15 seconds left. He's going to have to bait the diffuser here. In fact, he might be sticking it because he has balls of steel. He might not be aware of Spliz's rotation, and what a shot and what an angle from Spliz to be able to get that kill.
Jeez, I mean, that was That was good play from Spliz, and ultimately the time biting the butts of qvG there, because you saw it as soon as it kind of like ticked down to 20 seconds, or it did tick down to 20 seconds. As soon as it ticked down to 20 seconds, they seem to just kind of like pummel into sight into that one little doorway, and then you have a player in master bedroom with the person that was supposed to be watching the master bedroom rotate was dead in closet, because that's what Hunter did. Hunter having a really good round. But also they kind of like piled into the same door after there was a player in master bedroom who just rotated. They saw them rotate into master bedroom, holding a tight angle from master bedroom onto that one little door frame
Attackers
that
need
they
to
were all
locate
just
and
rushing
defuse as many
into.
bombs as
And it just didn't seem like not only did they not have any time to think, they didn't really try to think of a plan to really make it execute onto site. They just piled in and they just kept going one after the other. It was awkward.
I mean, how ironic is it that the man who was yellow ping not, I think, 3 times that corner, the one who got away was the one who won that clutch. I think it's a little bit of a poetic tilter, I would say. The one person that you should have killed, that should have 100% guaranteed be dead, and he had, I think, 2 or 3 people holding an angle onto him, making sure he doesn't escape. He survives somehow, and he wins the round for his team. And, I just think it's a bit ironic, and it's a bit funny. But also, I have to respect the balls on qvG for going for that plant first time. A lot of players they'll fake the first plant, peek out, see if they can get the kill. qvG, not him. He sticks the first plant. He's like, this player is not going to peek me, and he was right. He didn't peek him from that angle. He went all the way around. But that is last round. Let's talk about this round. As Spliz picks up that first kill on to Kex, and continuing his good form from last round, he opted to go onto Oryx, an off pick here. Probably one of his only maps where he is. You can say he's competitively viable with quotation marks. He's always a fun pick, and he offers a lot of rotation and a lot of movement for the team, and he gets that first pick and proves his worth onto Kex the IQ, which means that they're not really going to be able to spot out those echo drones, and we didn't even talk about this echo drone, Wambi. Echo drones in place, bandit charges, ADSs, that IQ being lost is going to be a big blow.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's another thing about Oryx as well. The fact that he does. I think he still does have the 1.5 sight on that T5, and the T5 the 1.5 was removed off the T5 for a good reason. That not being one of them, because F2 is going to be able to make the quick trade onto Spliz. Not really quick, but nonetheless, he did get that aggressive roamer that persisted on WeSports. But again, I mean, that's the damage has already been done to qvG. I don't want to. They didn't slow down or anything. But the fact that they don't have that
IQ.
the utility, the IQ, but the utility intel of where this utility is, the fact that they don't have that gadget in their favor, it's a little bit damning, because if they end up pushing into like the last 10 seconds or last 20 seconds like they did last round, then those echo drones are going to be really powerful. But the kills are going in their way. They got 2 quick fire kills after giving up a really crucial operator, then 3, but oh my god, critical with the key swing onto that 90 corridor, gets 2 kills. Goody and I think Sir Guji, but it's F2 to make his way into sight, and he has the fuser. Just Pit is covering his flank, or covering the rotation coming in from Critical, but Critical is already an aviator. He's trading some shots at F2, and F2 is not going to get the plant down without any surefire that he's not going to be a danger to him. 40 seconds up to go, and F2's already getting the plants down. Just Pit is still in that 90 hallway, but this Nitro cell is going to be for naught. It was a nice try, but this should be the round for qvG, and it is, because Just Pit is just that good.
I feel like we cast a curse with WeSports after saying that the echo was in play. I feel like there's a feeling in my stomach that if we didn't mention the echo and anything like that, he would have survived on the end of the round, and we were looking at a very different story. But yeah, I feel like sorry WeSports, we kind of threw that one for you guys. But props to qvG, who even after losing that first man advantage managed to hunt down the roamer and get into sight and basically execute the entire game plan almost flawlessly. The only one asterisk would be Critical, who on the main stairs flank managed to get 2 kills, and if he just stayed there for the swing, he could have maybe gotten a few more, especially on the Hibana, but he rotated away, and F2 expected that person to rotate away. So he managed to walk into sight and pick up that person. I think Echo on, it was Icox on the Echo. playing in Vault, and yeah, the rest
Attackers
was
need to
basically
locate
history.
and
And
defuse as
nice
many
try
bombs
on
as
the
they can.
Nitro. He was trying to get it really fast, so he couldn't really time it well. But if he got that kill, maybe in a 1v1, you're thinking maybe this he can do it. But yeah, in a 2v1 like that, locked out of sight, it's very difficult, especially considering the wall was not open.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Another thing about that round, really, I feel like, we said caster's curse, but the fact of the matter is the trade also, we saw the strong trade game coming out at the very beginning of this villain match, but it's not
10
working
seconds
out
left.
quite so well towards the latter end of this when qvG, now that qvG are on
5
match
seconds
point. It
remaining.
seems that WeSports have run out of steam a little bit. It seems like that energy is just no longer there. Hunter's still having a really good game. Zerak seems to have slowed down, and it's not odd to say the least. I say that word a lot, but it is strange to see
I
that that
think
energy isn't there no more for them, or it's not there, but it's dwindling by the minutes or the seconds, really.
I mean, Zarok hasn't got a kill in a lot of rounds. I don't think he's got a single kill in the entire defender side. I think Hunter's only gotten 1 or 2, so they're really having a quiet defensive half, and that's probably letting I won't say letting their team down, because obviously they're the ones performing the best, but I'm sure they're going to be thinking that they can be doing a lot better, especially getting those final few kills. But the main player on WeSports on this defensive half who's been showing up is Blizz, getting that initial pick last run, as well as that 1v1 clutch, who basically prevented qvG from ending this map 7-3 earlier, and he's keeping his team
Attackers
here.
have
So
located a bomb.
it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep his team in this for one more round, and maybe if he gets 2 more rounds, he can bring this into overtime and potentially salvage a draw, or a draw for his team overall, and get that first map win. But it's too early to call anything. Only a minute has gone by, and you can see that there are players below. And unfortunately for Splits, he does not have a nitro cell, so it's not like he can go for any kind of
Bomb has been
nitro plays
located.
through the floor. But he can always just provide a gun for a flank, and I'm sure that's what he's planning to do. He's just waiting for the perfect time to flank, and if he's not really droned out, that could really be put a hinder in the works of qvG.
It's a minute, and I don't see a lot of. This is unusual from qvG, seeing as what we've seen in the last few rounds from their attack. There's not. It's taking them quite a bit to not to really get into the map, but also to just establish any real map control, which, like I said, is unusual for them, because I've complimented them at the beginning or really early on into the stream, is the fact that they can really take map control really easily on their attacks, and that's why they're so good. That's why they're so high up in the league, because not only is their defense strong, but you also have to have a good attack come out on top of that. You can't just be a defensive team, and they've shown us that time and time again. But they only got 40 seconds left to go into this round to make an execute, and so far they don't really have any advantage towards the site. They are going to get this 90 wall open, but it's going to be impact tricked by the Maestro that was just resting in there, and I think they finally got a hole open into it or something like that. But it's only 20 seconds left to go, and they're going to have to muscle their way into sight, especially in that vault area. Hunter's going to be very critical to this push, and like I said, he gets 2, 3, 4 for WeSports Academy, 2 for Goody, but going to be cut down by Hunter as he grabs a quad on a round. And it's WeSports to put themselves within 1 round of confirming overtime in this matchup.
I mean, I don't want to say the word, but at the start of the round, what we said, Zarok and Hunter haven't really been popping off this in defending half, and what Hunter does, he goes and gets a 4K this round. So, Caster's Curse again. It's never as I want it to be. But regardless of that, I think a majority of that round is actually owed to Spliz, who was the player playing below, and I think qvG were aware of him playing below, and they were spending a lot of resources. I think I saw Iana drones and normal drones below trying to spot him out, and I think they just gave up at the end because they couldn't find him. And I think he's like a majority of the reason why qvG took so long to actually attack. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's why qvG were taking a lot of time, because I saw the Iana like immensely like combing into library, checking the vault and stuff. And I think I saw someone was just on the drones. He might have just been on the drones, but I think they were just looking for this Melusi to spot it early in the round below, who unfortunately slipped through the fingers and managed to get a kill. I think the denying Hunters his ace for that round.
I mean, well, a good round
Mhm.
for WeSports Academy, but most definitely Hunter. Hunter has been like you said it before. The fact that he only had 2 kills on his defensive half, but he grabs 4 right there. If WeSports are going to have an opportunity to really take this into overtime, which is what they need to do right now, they only have one chance, and this is their
Mhm.
only chance. Is Hunter needs to be performing at the level that he is now,
Attackers need to
but
locate
also
and defuse
WeSports has to
bombs.
have some other players to step it up as well. We talk about
Oh.
Spliz being very influential on this defensive half. Yes, he's going 8 and 9, but his aggressive plays are putting a dent into the qvG's attack. His aggressive plays are slowing QVG down, which it's hard to slow QVG down. They're very aggressive. They take map control very quickly, and it's hard to stop them when they do. But Spliz has done a great job in being that flank or in being that really aggressive player that puts not a stamp, but puts
10
a
seconds
wedge
remaining.
into their attacking play. Xerac has I don't think he's had a
5
single
seconds
kill
left
throughout this
before
defensive
insertion.
half. And that's not me criticizing him. Xerac has had like
Attackers must
had a
locate
good
and
season
defuse a
so
bomb.
far. He's been one of the top players between him and Hunter, and Hunter is probably one of the best players in talent league that I've seen.
Mhm.
But
Actually,
if they're going,
I sorry to cut you off, and we were
no,
talking
no,
about how
go.
good Zarek was. He got a fork in the first round, which means apart from that, in these other 10 rounds, he's only gotten 3 kills. So actually, remove that 1 round, and he's not really done much. I won't say not done much for his team, but in terms of fragging potential, the numbers look good. But he needs to let's just say he needs to step it up a little bit more for his team, especially in this 11th hour if they want to take it to overtime, like you said. Because qvG, they're mixing it up. They brought the OSA out. And I don't think we talked about this yet. The OSA could provide to be the glue or the linchpin that ends up managing to put WeSports in the grave for this map. But the shield's being rotated from here, from Hunter, means that,
Attackers recovered the
okay,
bomb
never mind.
diffuser.
The shield being, okay, it is being rotated just to a very different spot. Okay, behind the ADS for some reason, weird positioning, not going to question it. It's going to be putting himself in a pretty good position here, aware of the attack that qvG are doing. And I think 4 of them are stacked by that red stair side, and only 1 person I think is repelling on the balcony. No, okay, now the second person in terms of goodie is going to come. But that OSA that we talked about being the linchpin, the first pick, Castica strikes it again. You know what? I'm just not going to talk on B. You take over.
Just Fit is going to be the first one to fall actually on that Osa. I mean, this is the first time we've seen Osa, and Osa hasn't been all that effective from both of these teams, not just qvG. And it's unfortunate because I wanted to see some Osa plays, but I love to see some good natural self plays. And Xerac is going to provide that. We harped on him a little bit. Oh my God, Sir Gucci, what are you doing? F2 is going to get the trade, making this a 4v2 for his team. But the fuser's down. qvG don't have it, and it looks like the defuse position is already in control of WeSports. And there you go, Critical able to get that pick, and then Hunter is going on a hunt right now. He's hunting for rabbits. I'm sorry.
Hunting for sledges.
There you go. Yeah, I love that saying.
Hunting for
That's
sledges. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, overtime. Overtime. Let's go, Hunter.
Yes.
I mean, like, what went wrong for qvG in that round? Let's see. Apart from the Casticker stuff, I'm not sure exactly how Pit got taken out on the OSA first. I think that just kind of sucks. The Nitro stuff and Blow was just whatever. But yeah, I think qvG in the last round just gave away a lot of free picks, not much refrag like we've expected them, and we've seen them do so far in this map. Is they've been really good with the refrags. And that round, we just didn't see much refrag potential, and I think that's what really cost them. Their WeSports still on top of their game, sharp as ever. Hunter on that shield, rotating into a really good position there to help his team, and even they didn't lose a single person until the dying moments. I'm pretty sure until a refrag came out from Goody. But yeah, they put themselves into overtime, and qvG, they've secured the championship, but I'm sure they'll still not want to get a loss onto their unbeaten season so far. They've only drawn once, and if they want to keep up and make sure that they've only drawn once this year, keep up that pretty much 100% win ratio, they're gonna have to do something, and that's something is win this game.
You were talking about qvG, right? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Every time I don't mean to do that. I don't know why, but like I blank out
Zone out.
every
happens.
Every time. No.
5 seconds remaining.
I like hearing you speak though. I don't know why, but I blink out
Attackers are moving
just
to
every
the bomb.
time. This happens on every cast, I swear.
No.
I'm like paying attention to one thing one team does, and I'm thinking about it for the rest of the stream, and then I just blank out. But,
Yeah, I don't know if you or any other casters do this, but I remember like I see something and I'm like, oh, this will make a funny joke, and I just keep it in mind and never use it. I'm trying to like
Oh
work
my
it into the
God, yes.
conversation. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
this will be a really funny joke to put into some point. Like for example, remember we talked about Bolo that one round, right? And Shaiko, and how good their aim was. I just remember that there was this really funny Bolo clip that he uploaded on Twitter like months ago of him like unboxing a bidet, and then he's like says he's gonna try the bidet, and then like the water of the bidet squirts into his mouth. It's really funny. I'm not
That's
going to
so.
see that.
What the hell?
It's a clean bidet. He just installed it. So
Oh no.
okay, it's a really funny video, and that's all I could think about. I was like, this would be really funny to put into the conversation, but it never happened. And as we've been waffling into this round, the picks are already coming out as qvG are putting themselves into position for a plant, as it's now a 2v4, as qvG are just into sight, as Fizz gets taken out, as Pit's on 1 HP, and it's all down to Zarok in a 1v4. Pit's on very low HP, and it's still doable, let's just say. He can go from below, toss the C4, it's a blind Nitro, and it does manage to down Pit, which means that he is in a 1v2, and if the finger gone, no res is going to come out. It's too doable for him. He gets that first pick, and if he manages to get the second one, and he does, this round is very winnable for Zarok here. He can fake the diffuser here, he can do a lot of things, and if he's big balled enough, he can just stick it first time, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. He's big ball sticking it, and he gets off it at the last second. Why did he get off? He could have stuck it. I'm pretty sure he could have stuck it if he just.
He got scared.
We needed a replay. We needed a replay. He was so close to sticking that. I think that was milliseconds, like 0.1 second. Can someone clip that?
I think he heard F2's big ass feet just run right at him, and he got scared.
The balls, he sticks. I mean, I'm 99% sure if he didn't get off that plant, he could have stuck it because F2 didn't land the headshot first. I think he landed a body shot into a headshot. So I'm like 99% sure that if he stuck it, he would have won that. And that would have been a really insane clutch. Clip of the week worthy clutch. And someone needs to clip that one. I need to watch it back. I want to see how close it was. Like if it was 0.2 or 3 seconds, then maybe not, because F2 probably would have killed him. But if it was like 0.1 seconds, something like that, which I think it was because I was looking at the diffuser timer. Yeah,
I mean, who was that in the 1v3? Was it
Zarok? The person that we were slating for not performing well yet again comes out with an insane almost play there. Oh my God.
I mean, those were some like, it wasn't really not to just pit kill, but I mean that was a nasty shot on the sledge and statuary. I felt like he deserved that clutch. That would have been such a sick clutch had he just gotten the diffuser. Like even if he didn't kill F2 as the last player. If he got that diffuser down, that would have been one of my favorite clutches. I mean, the nasty, just the Nitro cell from below getting the kill, and then after that, just flicking onto the head of the sledge player. Oh, I mean, that would have been one of my favorite clutches. Even if he didn't get the last kill, that was really good. That was a really good try from him. And just as we were slating him off, he's been turning up these past few rounds, but so has Hunter going 16-9. And the player who we were talking about for qvG, just Pit, I mean, he's going 13-9 as well. I want to say he's slowed down just a little bit, but he's still been like very influential for qvG in these last few rounds that they won. I mean, in that last round where he put his team onto where qvG put themselves onto the overtime match point. He was very influential in that round. Again, establishing that quick map control, putting himself into sight, and just taking the initiative. Something that I praise qvG a lot for. Just, I mean, doing what needs to be done to grab a round win, but also win a match for his team. If they can win it this time. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's overtime match point for qvG. Like you said, and that might. I mean, I'm just still in shock that he didn't stick that. If he was so close to sticking that. I mean, I think it's coming on stream right now actually. So if you can just take for a second, Bumby, I can just watch it and see how close it was. Get 3 seconds.
I got you.
2 seconds. 1. It was at 0.4. I think he could have stuck that. I actually think he could have stuck that. It was 0.44, I think. But that was last round, and all the clips can come out later, but we start off good as WeSports managed to get that first pick onto Pit, the one of the more influential players, as Spliz gets the second on his finger, and now he puts his team in a 5v3 as this person is not, and the person that is, I think it's Kex playing on main stairs, is going to be completely blinded, and he's going to be playing aggressively on this Yo-Yo Shield. As Spliz gets a third kill on Goody, and Critical gets a kill for himself actually, as F2 shuts down Hunter, but I think it might be a little too late as he's the last person alive and needs to get aggressive on these kills, and that's exactly what he does. He gets that first pick onto Zarok, and now his position is revealed. He smartly decides to rotate over to 90, see if he can get any picks, but it looks like the attacker is aware of that, but he wins that fight against Critical, and WeSports, you know, this is looking a bit shaky for you now. You've given F2 a lot of free 1v1s, and in this position, I would not count F2 out of it. With a minute left, his is going down. If he swings and gets this kill here, I'm going to be very scared for qvG. But thank God, Spliz, he got 3 kills in the round already. He gets that 4th kill, and he secures that round for his team. And honestly, that was looking a bit, whew, you know, 3 1v1s to give to him. You know, he's going to take that all day. And if there's one thing about a qvG that I've seen a lot of games from them over the past few months, and is that man F2 on the smoke, he is a monster at clutching. You just give him a little bit of space, and he will take advantage of it, and that's exactly what he did. So, you know, getting a bit scared for WeSports there, making sure that, you know, they did manage to bring that round home, and they do, and they're going to be defending for the very last round of this match. 7-7 match point, and it seems that WeSports are going to go to trophy.
Jesus, that round almost made my brain explode. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, like, I yelled right when you were, like, casting it. I didn't mean to, but that shot that he hit on Zarek, I didn't expect him to get that, and I also didn't expect him to get that shot that he got from 90. Like, just so many, like, nice shots in this matchup, and it's so exciting to watch. I mean, Siege is a game about clicking heads, and both of these teams are doing very well at it. I wasn't gonna say anything about you go ahead and I'll talk.
No, I was just gonna say that kill on Zarek is fair enough because that's close range on SMG11, but that kill onto Critical, far range SMG11 kill, you know, that takes some skill and precision.
I could just imagine everybody from WeSports yelling, "Somebody kill him!"
Before insertion.
Guys, he's 90. Guys, he's 90. He's going aviator, guys.
5 seconds left before
Just kill him, bro.
As in terms of it's one of my big brain moments here, that joke that came, you know, well, it's like it's coming, the transition, you know, one of maybe WeSports are going, you know, they're telling F2 to stop killing me, because that's for those who know, you know and that's one for the staff there. But yeah, we're gonna go swiftly back onto the game as Critical goes for a really aggressive jump out there and somehow manages to come back out alive, or come back in alive, I guess, and doesn't manage to do any damage to the opposing team. Actually, he might have done some damage to Goody. I wasn't really paying attention there. And yeah, in the 5v5 here, Goody's gonna, was it Goody? I think it was Kex actually who jumped into Pantry, and he's gonna be trying to make space for his team.
That's the. But
was
that a Mazi
attacker?
drone?
No, that was attacker drone. There's no oohing.
It was a Mazi. Yeah, it was like blue. Oh, he didn't shoot it. I was like sitting here like wondering if that's not his drone, then why didn't he shoot it? But if you don't shoot it, then they won't know where you're at. And Kokse getting one of his first kills throughout these many rounds that we've had. Like I said, I wasn't gonna say anything. Kokse was going 3-10. Now he's going 4-10, and he hasn't had the best. He hasn't had the best of, in terms of numbers, hasn't had the best of matchups, but he's getting these impact frags that matters. That's the thing about support players that a lot of people don't understand, is that despite them having such low kill counts, they get the kills when it matters. You know, like you think about Goga from Penta, who was clowned for not getting as many kills, even though he was the best support player in all of like Siege history. As two players in astronomy, one player is gonna get down, but the trade comes in. Just Pit, I thought he was the one to get down, but no, it was another player on the qvG's team, and it's now a 3v2. This could be an easy kill for Spliz, and it is, and Spliz he's probably gonna give his team, oh my god, the potato coming in from Just Pit, and he's now in a 3v, well, theoretically a 3v2, or I'm so sorry, a 1v2. but basically, literally a 1v3. The Fuser's down in study. He has a chance to retrieve it, but with everybody knowing exactly where he is, his gunfire giving away, he's going to die by the player in Statuary. Oh wait, no, there was the player in Astronomy. Those holes, you know, I almost always forget about that wall in Astronomy that separates, that's like in between the two sites on that doorway. But those holes are like really, like, those holes are very, very useful for both sites, really, because you get the angles, you get those nice little angles.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we got very off track in the last round there, talking about a lot of things not related to the game, but overall it was a pretty solid performance on both teams, and now we can say that WeSports pick up that first map and take a lot of pressure. You know, they're guaranteed a draw here, right? At least at the minimum. And if they win the second map on Coastline, they put themselves in a win, which, you know, in the standings overall, again, you know, it puts them in a really good position, because out of the 2 games against 2 teams in the bottom half, they just have to win one of them, and they'll put themselves in the qualifier position. So a really good start from them coming out. It was a very, very close game, and it could have actually been an 8-6 considering Zarok's almost clutch. But, you know, a very, very exciting game to watch, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, as we're going to go to a quick 10-minute break, and we'll be back with Coastline.
Oh, Matrix! What a shot! Maybe
Axel still down. He could be. He is on a sliver of HP. His health bar is flashing red for good reason. Because, oh, there you go. And
they know he's there, but they don't seem to react. Typical finds a double up. No there, but no reaction. Has very dominant frag positioning, but King gets a lovely shot, but he finishes off a double as he takes out the
from Ignite Esports, but they don't have enough time to really dilly-dally here. And first piece of contact is
he's having a great game this time. He's got 2 KD so far. Kex, wait, slowly missed. He messed that one up. No nades in hand, but he will get pointed by the man in Oil Pit. qvG. Kex is on a triple qvG to Swift, but Kex is there to find the quad. And if they found that lucky match, if they found that lucky mirror, which there was a nice shot by Sturgeon as he finds the doubles. Yeah, there you go. No one's there. First big track gameplay, and he finds a triple kill. Now 1v3. Lots of better with Sturgeon. I'm thinking for him. There's no card rotate, so he's just going to be holding that winner, and he finds a triple kill for him. Now that's an out here. Oh, that's just an annoying finding. Quetta finds his 4th kill on that round, and I mean, it was silent 4 games on the end. Nothing too special.
Could have been another for him, but it's a good shot from Johnny. And now a 1v3, it could be a 1v2 because he's actually still down. He could grab this kill, F2, and it's now a 1v1. He is on a sliver of HP. His health bar is flashing red for good reason. Because, oh, there you go, and that's no wall.
No chance!
You go.
Hello? Yep, me. Okay, sorry. I was talking before and I said, Bob, you can take the lead here. And, it's like, mishaps, miscommunication. It happens. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was a little bit a longer break than we anticipated, but it should all be fine. Let's just go straight into the game. I think both teams are ready. Just a second, one of them is on the toilet, so just about ready, but we're going to be going on to Coastline. And VSports, if you missed the first half of this and you're tuning in recently, VSports won against qvG 8-7 overtime on Villa. Very, very close map. Could have easily gone either side. Both teams almost having really good clutches. It was a really good game. Highly recommend you go back and watch it. But this is this is a Coastline, or we're going to be going to Coastline as our second map. Both teams in the stats that we have of the matches that recorded, which means that which basically just means that of the matches that they've played and have been streamed, those have been recorded as a statistics that we use. And both of these teams have played Coastline once, and both of these teams have won Coastline 7-1 respectively when they've played it. So hold my hands up. Both of these teams' stats say that they're really good at Coastline. And considering the fact that VSports won that first map, I'm assuming qvG didn't really want to have a loss on their, on the thing. They've been undefeated this entire season so far, so it would make sense that they wouldn't want to have a single loss on it at all, because it would be nice having 0 losses. But I've waffled on for long enough because I was just waiting for the last player to be ready, and now he is, so we can just go straight into Coastline. 1B, take it away.
Yeah, right. Coastline. We all know what Coastline is. Coastline's been in the game for, since the beginning, or not since the beginning, ever since it's not Purple Rain. That's a Prince song. Oh my God. Ever since Mira and Jackal came out, Coastline has been in the map. It's probably one of the more siege. It's as siege as it gets on Coastline. You know what I mean? It's small. It's attacker sided. And for the bans, I'm not really sure what to expect, because we've done a curveball in Villa. But the first ban we do get is something a little bit more normal, and that's actually the Nomad ban.
Nomad ban? Def? I'm confused. Wrong side. I think this is supposed to be swapped. So, technical difficulties. Gonna have to swap this. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's very quick. We can just quickly restart the lobby. No harm going to be done. I hope no harm's going to be done, because I know Siege is a bit weird in how the lobbies are made, and sometimes you have to take like a 5-minute break after making a game. I think it's fine. Hopefully, these guys aren't doing bans. Our producer is molding because he didn't do bans, so we're gonna have to go bans yet again. But it is okay. It is okay. We can chill. It's all right. No, nothing to worry about. We're just back on the
man, that's
main stream,
crazy.
guys. No need to worry about it.
You saw one of
Let's
the
get a big
players.
man again.
I don't know if you saw one of the players was literally like rehost tripping his toast.
If you didn't hear, basically, Trippin is a producer and observer in our mic. As soon as he goes, why did they do the bans? In a really funny way. So yeah, you probably didn't hear that, but we're going to be resetting up the lobby, so you're gonna have to deal with our beautiful faces for a little bit longer. I mean, we've talked a lot about the standings and what the teams and matches are going to be 1B, so I'm not really sure what else we can waffle on about between these two teams. You have any ideas?
No, not really. I mean, I think WeSports are pretty happy. They are pretty happy with the fact that they got the win onto Villa. qvG are a hard team to beat, and remember, they don't have a single loss this season. So WeSports are gonna take that confidence and they're gonna take that momentum that they have from map 1 and they're gonna put it into Villa. I mean, not Villa, but Coastline. And I mean, WeSports are a good Coastline team, as we saw with them in the past. They've destroyed teams on Coastline before.
Yep.
So this should be like it was a good Villa match. This should be a good Coastline match to watch, and I'm pretty excited for it.
It should be, right? We don't know. We know. Whenever we cast his curse when we why did he say anything? Now it's gonna be like a quick 7-0 and we're gonna all be
God.
going. It's gonna be like
See, I didn't speak it to existence, man.
Hopefully you haven't. Hopefully you haven't speaking into existence, because that would be very, very bad for us. I mean, we're not gonna think about it too much. We're gonna go back into the game. Thankfully, we didn't have that 5-minute ban thing that I was a bit worried about, because siege lobbies are just dumb like that. Sometimes you just have to wait. You don't have to wait. We can go straight into the ban. WeSports are gonna ban first this time. Last time we just saw one nomad ban coming out from qvG. Nothing else was really banned. So the first official ban of this match is going to be a Thatcher ban on Coastline. Ever since the new, they changed how Coastline is and added a few more reinforceable walls, like the one I'm thinking of in Penthouse Balcony? Is it Penthouse Balcony? Or VIP Balk, not Penthouse Balcony. What am I saying? VIP Balk. He's come back into a bit of meta. He's always a really strong operator. But on, I think the one before the Coastline rework, the one map you would be like, you don't need to ban Thatcher was Coastline. But now that they've added that wall, he's become back into the meta slightly more. qvG gonna stick with their Nomad ban, and thankfully they stuck to the Nomad ban. Otherwise, questions are gonna be raised about the validity of Talent League and whether we should, for once and forever, all purge this competition to never be seen again. But this Valkyrie ban is gonna come out. qvG.
What is going on? Literally, damn, what is going on?
I mean, you heard. Oh, what the heck?
What the hell?
What the hell? Why does the alibi ban have 3 things? What?
I was gonna talk about how weird the Thatcher ban is, but it doesn't get any weirder than an alibi ban on Coastline. I mean, you remove the 1.5 and a good gun, so there goes that. But like, what? I don't know.
Sometimes.
That's a nice castle. It's the Christmas one, I think.
Ooh. I haven't touched Siege in like 2 months, sorry to say. So
Neither,
I have
to
no
be
idea.
honest.
I have no idea what the skins. I've watched a lot of Pro League, but actually playing the game, from what I've heard of my friends playing the game, they're miserable. I've switched to Valorant and I'm getting dicked on there. So regardless of that fact. Speaking of Valorant, I was a bit surprised when you said that in Villa it was a bit funny. So you said the size are gonna switch. I'm like, what do you mean size only switched? Only 5 rounds have been played. Because in Valorant you have to play 12 rounds and then the side switches. So I was like, what do you mean? Oh, see, oh yeah, see, side switch after like 6 rounds. So it's something funny to put in. But let's actually talk about the game. There was a lot that just happened in the bad phase. And I hope someone clips that, because that was that just came from the top of my head. That was like one of those unplanned jokes that just ended up being really funny. So someone clipped that and then posted on Twitter. So it's pretty funny. But regardless, you know, qvG gonna be attacking, WeSports defending onto this hookah
10
site.
seconds left before
And
insertion.
you know, Wumby, just talk us over what's really gonna happen here. Or
5 seconds to go.
Well, you know, they got the. I was trying to make a joke. I was gonna sit here and say, well, you know, they got the maestro in play. So
They
that's
do
good.
have
No,
the
I'm just
maestro,
kidding.
right?
That's just such a bland way of casting it. I don't want to be like, oh, well, they got the maestro. I mean, maestro's pretty exciting to play, but there goes the spawn peek. Hello. Just pit, almost getting a pick there,
Bomb has been located.
and it's not going to come to fruition. But the player is still going to persist on that window. I think he's on this top of main stairs window, whatever you want to call it. But what the hell are you doing? There goes the swing from Hunter, and that's not the player that was actually peeking that window. But Hunter, I mean, did the call not come in this place that somebody was on that window repelling? Did Hunter not call that out? They should have heard the repel.
There's anarchy going on in the server right now, both casting and in the server. I don't know what's happening. The punt's going down. What's happening? It's a 4v3. The punt is going down. qvG, they're in the position to punt already. And the punt comes out in a 4v2 as it's down to Zarok and Icog. Zarok picks up one, brings it down to a 2v3. But there's still a lot of work left to do to win this. Like, how did the punt even happen? And the person playing below, Goody, managed to pick up Icog. So now it's all down to Zarok, who can't get that kill onto that person repelling as Googie picks up that kill from Aqua. You know, this server, this is anarchy. The plant started going down at 2 minutes 12 seconds, I think. I mean, it wasn't even like a rush plant. They just were in position to plant, and everyone was in position to be able to get the plant off. And I think it caught WeSports off guard. Like, wait, what do you mean they're planting? It's so soon in the round. What?
Yeah, usually you in that type of situation you'd have a player playing in the luggage, but the player that was trying to rotate through luggage was was killed from that window that's on the top of main stairs.
That was.
And so the rotate didn't come from neither nobody else. Hunter was in a position he could have rotated, but again, you don't really want just the one player rotating there. You obviously want more than one player rotating through there for the trade value and whatnot. And that wasn't what happened. Nobody was, again, you said it, nobody was in a position to counter that defusal or that attack from qvG. But it's also the fact that nobody really tried to rotate quick enough.
I mean, I think they did once the plant got down. You know, I think it's the fact that qvG were all in really strong positions. You had Googie on Aquabal. Goody was playing below, right, to maybe nade the guy playing pink power, or just hold an angle of people trying to work to the coup, right? You had Iana on, was it Kex on the Iana or someone else? Regardless, they were on the window, right? They were on the window with the Osa shield, and I think there was one person on hookah balcony to help prevent any kind of run out onto that person playing the window. And you know, with all the players in the position, you know, might as well just go for the plant. You know, who are you waiting for? So I guess that's what happened. And sometimes rounds are just that quick. And qvG, you know, quick on the uptake here. And I'm not really sure how to transition this into the next round, so let's just say they're going into this next round. As we can watch Goody, he's just gonna be running to pick up his drone. Drone economy, always something you want to keep in mind in Siege, especially if you're a newer player to the scene. Drones can give a lot of utility, not a lot of utility, they can give a lot of information. I mean, that information technically you can say, oh, it is utility, but one of the things you want to keep count is the drone count. But I think the game just keeps count of the drones now, so you don't actually have to. That's a boomer Siege thing, keeping count of drones mentally as a team instead of having to see the count in the top of the screen. But Meat Jammer does his job as a drone. A pit gets jammed.
Something new.
It's now 2 minutes, well, not even really a minute has gone by, and it looks like qvG are just going to try and do the same thing that they did last time. They didn't exactly rush, they just kind of established themselves in positions, and that's what we're talking about. It's just Pit putting himself in a good position to get 2 of those frags, and you have Kex using the defender's shield and also his own shield to set himself up on that Billier's doorway, but then the kill comes out for WeSports, and it's going to be just Pit to fall. Nitro comes out from below, and it is going to claim the kill. Zarok, who had a decent map last time around, well, at least towards the end of it, that helped WeSports prepare themselves to get the first map of this whole series, is going to get the kill there, and he's having a good map. I mean, well, he's having a good round so far. He's gotten 2 kills, I believe. Or I think he got the first round.
I can't stop the other one.
Oh, I got you. So, all right. Well,
Bomb
regardless,
located
he
by
got that
attackers.
kill, and it's now a 3v3 between the two teams. It's a minute and 10 left to go, and it looks like, well, I don't want to say qvG has slowed down, but it does look like that quite a bit. The nitro, well, not the nitro cells, but the nade does go out, and also a smoke nade goes out. But the nade from the attacker Serguji gets the kill for them, and it's now a 3v2. Any advantage now a 3v1. Any advantage of qvG. The also shield is just doing a little bit of trolling, and there to go Serguji to grab. I think that's a quad or a triple kill on a round for Hill. Regardless, it was a good round for Serguji, and it is the round for qvG Academy.
Wow, qvG can't even plant the bomb in under 50 seconds like they did in round 1. L team. I'm obviously joking. That was a bit of trolling. That was a joke that was brewing. You know, it was like, oh, 2 minutes 10 seconds have passed. They still haven't got the plant down. Unusual for qvG considering the standards of last round. But yeah, I didn't get the chance to put that one out. But a valiant attempt from WeSports. I mean, it's a valiant attempt. It was a pretty good attempt. I think that nade coming out onto Hunter was a linchpin that they needed to be able to push on the side, because I think they had drone information on ICOX, because if I remember correctly, they did have a drone in reception that watched into security, and there's like, oh, the mids were rotating from security, which means there's only one person on site. Let's just converge on this guy on site, kill him, and then we can plant, and then we can have an Osa, we can just hold him back with the flank, and that's exactly what happened there. So, you know, good reading of the match. The qvG, the drone placement, like I said earlier, coming in clutch. Was that a caster bless moment? You know, saying something's gonna happen and nothing actually happening well for once. You know, PogChamp. It might have been a caster bless. You know, I was talking about drones and how good they are, and that drone basically won the round, I want to say, knowing the information about one was flanking. So a caster bless maybe for once. But WeSports, they're gonna be going back to kitchen. You know, I think a major part of the round that we didn't even talk about was Pit just lurking in luggage side, getting 2 kills before getting pitted out. Those 2 kills is propelling his team into a position to be able to get a lot of map control, especially considering you had the Osa there, easy, especially on a map like Coastline, to be able to get those kills. And yeah, that's kind of what happened there. So we're gonna be going into this third round right here, and it's gonna be, I want to say, similar setup, but did they have a shield on Hookah last time?
Yeah,
Okay,
they had a shield. They had the shield, the same shield. That's what I was gonna talk about. Well, no, I wasn't gonna talk about it, but I did say something about how the fact that Kex was able to take control of that shield and also place a shield right next to that one. That was on Billiards with the Billiards doorway, whatever. I don't know what you call that. Doorway from Billiards. It's that's the common phrase you see. It's like doorway to this room, the window to this room, and there goes the kill for Xerox as he grabs the first kill for this round. It's a needed start from WeSports. And Pit just got lit up, but he also lights somebody else up in the process. This iCoxy again.
That's a whip from Critical. Not gonna lie.
Oh, it is. Wait, was it? Oh.
He did it with whiffing. But Googie gets a trade. So, you know, not too bad. The Critical gets punished for his whiff. And Googie on a little bit of HP there. Could have easily had 2 kills there. But Pit was the one who ran across from Aqua, and then it was Critical who white zone. But Zarok gets the refrag onto F2 and now brings it back into a 4v3 man advantage for the first time in this, I want to say in this game actually. Have they had a round where they had man advantage? I don't think so, right? Because it's always qvG got in both around the first few picks. So man advantage for man advantage to them for the first time, as just as you had Pit gets that first kill onto Spliz, a player who had such significant impacts in that first map, as Kai Cox just picks the wrong time to swing, to be honest. And just as I said, that WeSports had the man advantage, that easily they've lost it, and it's down to the 2 players on site, Zarok and Hunter.
This happens a lot with qvG. I feel like whenever they have the and it looks like it looks pretty bad for them, they always find their way back into the game, and it's dangerous to keep, well, these 3 players alive in particular, mainly Serguji and Pit, 2 top players for qvG at the moment, because when they're alive, they always have a chance to put themselves in the game, because all they need is to get some picks, and these 2 players can most definitely do that. But they have 40 seconds left to go. On Coastline, that's not too bad. Well, it's a bit odd for teams to attack that late into the round, but I mean, they've had the man disadvantage for most of it, and qvG also has the diffuser in hand, so they need to find a way to get themselves into the site or find these players on site, isolate them, and get them picked. It looks like the first player they're going to come into contact with is Zerak, but if he downs the player in courtyard, there goes the swing from just Pits, and there goes the kill from Hunter, and it now leaves Kex in a 1v1 against Hunter. Hunter can hit his shots most definitely, but Kex is actually going to bring his teammate up, and it's now up to Hunter to get the kill, and he could probably... Oh, that's a good clutch from Hunter. The 1v3 or the 1v2 situation that he was put in.
Oh,
That's so unfortunate. The Ocean Shield not blocking any of the shots quick enough. And I think qvG tried to plant maybe a little bit too early. The shield wasn't down quite yet. And
I'm sorry, but it sounds like it sounds like you're saying it sounds like you're saying Sir Gucci.
Is it Sir?
It's Sir Gucci, and you've been calling him Sir Gucci for like 3 rounds, and it's the giggles have just been building up because you're calling him Sir Gucci. I don't know if this is funny to anyone else, but I just had to cut you off to point it out because it was starting to get that funny. Sir Gucci gets picked up from the ground. Sir Gucci going for the ball.
Is it Googie? Is it Googie?
I
don't know why.
It's Googie. I think it's Googie at least.
Oh god, God bless me. I didn't know. I was like saying Gucci the whole time. I don't know. Whenever I'm talking too fast, it's just like my pronunciation is just like out
It's
the window.
whatever.
But
It's all right,
but-
you know.
again, I think that 1v2 clutch from Hunter, which was a good clutch from him as well. That round was won mainly. Obviously, it was won by him, but it it was a good round from Hunter, but it was made off of a mistake from qvG in that 1v2 situation. Obviously, Googie not really waiting until the shield. I mean, he didn't really have enough time to. He had to play either way, but the shield wasn't down quite yet, and it couldn't have blocked the bullets if it's not like completely covering the planter, obviously. And it's a bit unfortunate. You saw that on the kill. You saw that on like the end of round cam too. Which
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty funny, but
it was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. The shield going up after his dead body fell, and there's only like 1 second left because was it Kex? I think it's Kex right on the Osa still. So he's like, when you're in a 1v1 like that, your team is down. You have 11 seconds, so you have time. So you go for the res, and when you go for the res, you're in a 2v1, but you have less time. So in that situation, you go for the plant, and with the Osa shield, you can cover him. And that was the game plan, it seemed. But Hunter, the intuition of playing this game for so long, probably knew the default plant spot, even if he couldn't see him. Goes for the pre-fire, and since Googie's on such low health, even if it wasn't a headshot, which I'm pretty sure it was, so it didn't really matter too much, but even if it wasn't a headshot, he's on such low health, he would have been downed. And because in this game, you actually can't get down twice unless you're in the Frostman. So if you're down once, you can't get downed again, you just get killed. So I'm not sure many people know that, but it's a cool little tidbit of information. So Googie would have died anyways, and the diffuser, it's gonna get dropped on the ground. And with the second left of the clock, also I'm pretty sure was still in a shield animation when that was happening. So there's not much that could happen there. And Kex, some will question if that was the right play. Some will say maybe it's better to go for just a kill. But you're near against Hunter, one of the better fraggers in this league. I'm never gonna say no to the some forgive my vulgar language, but the pussy strat of everyone pressing your teammate instead of going for the 1v1. Yeah, in Valorant, we have a term. In a 1v1 situation as an attacker, you can either be the balls of steel man, or you can be a spike bitch who just goes for the plant instead of going for the kill. So, just a bit of Valorant. It's not even low. What am I saying at this point? But I'm gonna go into. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say this.
10 seconds to go.
Sorry, production. It was worth it for the job.
5 seconds
But
remaining.
we're gonna be going into a sunrise at blue bar hold as we see the Mira being picked by Hunter instead of Zarok this time. So a bit of switch up from the team play, and maybe Hunter's feeling himself on Mira. We've seen him actually on the. I remember watching him, I think, on a consulate game on Mira, where he didn't put his Mira windows down. He just went for frags. And I remember I think it was a Squishy, and Squishy was going nuclear because he was like, oh my god, Hunter on the Mira going insane, peeking on yellow stairs. And I was just like, man, he's not putting his Mira windows down, man. What is he doing? It was funny. It was funny.
the vector is that good that you don't even use probably the most important, the most game-changing utility in the game. So I totally get it. It's a shame she lost her 1.5 though. But I you know.
1.5?
Oh wait, zero? Yeah, she had. Whoa, what the heck? Oh, okay. I thought he missed that shot to Sir Gucci.
gets away with his life somehow. He goes for the wall to the wall to the shot for the walls doesn't pan out, and he goes for the punch hole, completely oblivious to the people potentially behind him. And oh my god, that drone! What is happening in this game? That drone jump scaring, critical will change the scene, but thankfully Cox is there to potentially level out the game a bit more, putting it back into 2v4. qvG is on very low HP, so it's not an impossible clutch for these two players, especially considering Hunter is alive, and we know how good Hunter a player is. But you gotta remember, qvG in a man advantage situation. They have a lot of nades left, and they have smokes, they have flashes, they have also shield. The Iana drone can get information out of drones. It's not really looking good for WeSports.
Not at the moment. I mean, that's so unlucky for Zero. Those are the type of moments where you look at Siege. If you look at that moment in Siege, you say, God, I hate this game. I could totally agree with you after looking at that, because that's so unlucky. It's all about the timing in that situation. Timing wasn't with Xerox, but it's now with God because he's dead. So it's now a 4v2, 4 teams. Now a 4v1 as Hunter is down and now out by Goody. These vertical angles working in the favor of qvG Academy, and it's left Coxay all by his own. Some diffusers are gonna go down, smoke grenades are going to go out, and there goes the Osa shield. Oh my god! The Osa shield actually works this time, but it works for qvG Academy. This is the first time that we saw Osa in play, and I've said it before, but Osa wasn't really that effective on Villa, even though I think both teams brought it out once each time. It wasn't effective on either end, and in this situation, I think that's the perfect use for Osa. Is obviously she's like a Monty, but also like a hybrid kind of situation where you just move the shield with your hands and then place it down, and then you have this free window to look at people, but they can also see you. So not really like a mirror window, but kind of similar.
I know what you mean. I think Osa's most value especially comes on like a very open map like Coastline, where there's a lot of angles, a lot of space. It just puts more value on the shield because you can watch a lot more. Like for example, on the school web stairs, you put it down. Not only are you watching cool vibes, from like the above, you can hear the sound and stuff. You're watching sunrise, rotations, blue bar, kitchen. You can watch into courtyard if you angle it correctly and look at it. If you put it into 90, you can watch a lot more. You can put it down into sight. It's very strong on a map like this, I would say, compared to like a map like Villa, where yes, you can get a lot of value like on some positions, like for example 90 and stuff, but on a map like Villa, you're always trying to get forward, and you don't really want to put it down in just one position and leave it, because you always want to progress, right? You don't want to put it down. Maybe after post plant, you want to put it in one position, but while you're trying to get into sight, you always want to move the position forward, help your team. You don't really get to put it in a position to just put it down. But on coastline, there's a lot of spots where you can just put it down and get a lot of people. There's a lot of windows and outside and stuff. And even like not in late round situations like that, I feel like it has no more usage. But hold that thought for a second. Is that a spawn peek I see from Thunderbird coming out? The door is open, but it doesn't seem like anyone's going for it. The Thunderbird was there. I don't think she's going for it anymore. Is she? Who's on the cams? Was it Hunter? Was it Hunter going for it?
Yeah, it was Orcs.
Might be Hunter going for this one thing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised considering how aggressive Hunter is as a player, And I'm surprised in the 2v4 situation, he decided not to be aggressive last round and try to at least get that refrag, especially, There's one thing I've learned in Siege is that when you're in a man deficit of more than 1 or 2 players, oh my god, what is happening? He managed to get to the window and punch it, so not much vision for Kex here, but oh my god. Oh, Hunter wins it now. Just barely. Oh, never mind, he's dead. He trades himself 1 for 1, which honestly against Kex, the Osa windows are down. That's a lot of that's the attacking Miragon basically. So it's probably one of the best ops to pick up early in the round. So he's put his team in a pretty good spot here, all things considering now. Zarok has the Pomitis, the Thunderbirds as well are going to be coming clutch late round if they decide to all flush in because of the extra HP, the smoke grenades. It's put his team in a really good position.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, this is the thing. You said it before. Osa's like really good on the map, like Coastline, where there's a lot of open space and whatnot. But mainly, I like her usefulness on Coastline is also a lot on this site. She's good on every site, I feel like, on Coastline, but on this site in particular, on Hookah Billiards, she's very, very powerful, especially for getting easy plants down in that hookah site, and also getting easy plants down if you can manage to clear below you in the that billiards site as well. And it looks like, I think that's where qvG are attacking, is billiards. This is usually the plan of attack for a lot of usually the plan of attack for most attacking teams on coastline is usually attacking this billiard, usually taking control of aquarium, if I could speak, taking control of billiards, establishing a position that Aqua's out to watch her rotate through luggage, and the first player to go down for WeSports in this situation is going to be Spliz, and he's going to be confirmed by Sir qvG with that nade. Sir qvG is in a good spot to make a play here and to watch for any potential rotates that can come out from WeSports. And he's just going to do just that. He placed himself in this hallway, but he's probably going to be caught out by somebody. He's going to grab another. He's going to get a triple on the round, and it's now up to Hunter. He grabs one. Or not Hunter, that's Coxie. It's up to him. He grabs one. He could possibly grab the second, but he swings, and it is a missed swing for him as F2's able to catch him out on the swing and confirm the round for his team. Now it's, I think, 4-1 for qvG
4-1?
Academy. I think it's 4-1.
Yeah, for one. A strong attacking display and a valiant effort from Icox, I think, towards the end. Getting those few downs, puts himself in a 1v1, basically. Getting the body, it's just a 1v1 there. Unfortunately for him, he lost that. I mean, he almost got the shot off. You know, there's a lot of damage to F2 there, but F2 in a clutch like that, you expect him to win those. So, you know, valiant effort from WeSports there. I also, just something funny. I think Spliz, he got downed. He picked himself up with the Thunderbird and got naded almost instantly after. So I'm just gonna have to watch the VOD back to confirm that, because I was like, isn't there a Thunderbird on Pink Bar? So why is he not picking himself up? And I'm just like watching his like UI like HUD thing, and I just see, oh, he's picking himself. Oh, he's dead. So I'm not sure if he did pick himself up or if that's just how death animations are, where you go from alive to like the way that the scene shifted. I'm not sure. Regardless of that, qvG, another really strong attacking round, even without the Osa, proving that they don't need these new fancy ops. All you need is a classic Ash and a gun, and just Pit 9-4, qvG 8-2. You know, qvG especially struggled a bit on Villa. I think he only had 5 or 6 kills in the entire game. He already had more than that in these first 5 rounds, being a really good asset, and just Pit doing Pit things 9-4. We talked about him last map being one of the more up-and-coming prolific fraggers in this league, and he's proving exactly that. You know, 9-4, he has that lurky Ash playstyle, getting information to the team, getting a lot of first picks, and he's being a really good asset to qvG.
Yeah, at the moment, it's not really the same story, is it, for WeSports? You know, you have, I want to say, 2 players on the side of WeSports dropping donuts, Critical and Spliz, and then Coxie having a much better time on this map. Of course, he is their heart support player, so getting kills is not really his job, although this is an FPS game. Whether you're support or not, kills are most definitely welcome, but not needed if you're in that support role. But it's Critical and Spliz that I just talked about that's not really having the best of games, and it's unfortunate because to survive on coastline you need frags. You know, if there's like season FPS game, I've said it before, we've said it before, it's all about getting kills, but this map is all about getting kills. You know, it's one of the more heavy frag maps in this game. As you see, Hunter almost get the first pick onto Goody, who's actually in bar. Hunter was on those I want to say blue stairs. I can't remember what they're called. Aqua stairs, blue stairs. I think there we go. Oh my lord, cool vibe stairs. And then there goes the second encounter between Kex and Xerox, but nobody really taking the big bite. Nobody's really confirming the kill apart from Kex, who takes a big bite out of Xerox. And there goes another for Kex. Oh my god, you're insane, Kex. Grabs 2 for himself, this time onto Hunter, and now Spliz is able to trade that back onto his team, but the damage has already been done. Kex is actually on a little bit of health, so if Spliz is able to get this pick, which he does, he brings his team back into this matchup, and it's now a 3v3. They have this Thunderbird in play, they have the corner stations in play, so they can recharge their health, but qvG cannot, and Sir Goody is going to be the lower health players in this team. Now qvG is actually also going to suffer some health damage to himself, and they only got a minute left to go. I mean, at this, what could qvG do in this situation? I mean, Spliz is actually down to about like 25 HP. Critical is actually in this position. Oh my god, that's a nasty shot from Critical, and he could grab another if he swings on this window, or if he swings from courtyard onto this door. He has to stay in this position. It's a very critical position as FT grabs the kill into Coxie, and now Critical in his courtyard position is going to happen. It's going to be pivotal. There goes the kill for critical, and there goes another. I mean, again, I said it, like, him being in that position is very crucial to how this round ends. And ultimately, he proves me right. He grabs the 2 kills that well, I don't even know how many kills he got. I think he got like 3 kills on the round. 3 kills, the 3 kills that he needed, that his team needed to win. And I mean, that's a much needed round for WeSports. They needed that round
I don't want to call
to
this
go into
out,
their attack.
but you know how you said that the 2 players on WeSports weren't fragging out dropping donuts, and they were, who were they? Critical and Spliz, and
Yeah.
who were the 2 players who got all the kills in
Damn,
that
man,
round?
we look.
Spliz and Critical.
You
I
know,
wonder how that happened. I wonder how that happened, guys.
reverse caster curse.
True. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that Critical got, because when we watched Critical, we could see his crosshair was head level, and we knew the sledge was
Attackers
coming
need
into
to
him
locate and
couch
defuse
level.
as
So like,
many
oh no,
bombs as they can.
oh no, Critical, that's not gonna be good. But he had it. He had the shot. He adjusted the crosshair and he got the kill. But regardless of that,
Attackers have
you know,
located a
esports
bomb.
somehow bring it back into a 2-4. What looked like a really dominant
Attackers have
qvG
discovered the
side
location
4-2
of the
is
bomb.
actually 2-4. And honestly, I'm not really that familiar with the new coastline meta. I don't know what is, if 3-3 is a good split, 2-4 is a good split. But you know, if I was WeSports now, you know, you got rolled a lot of those rounds, I will take a 2-4 split. It's I still think it's attacker sided map. I hope it still is an attacker sided
10
map. I
seconds to
haven't
go.
really seen too much of the new coastline to comment too much about it, but regardless,
5
you know,
seconds
let's just
left.
say for the sake of optimism, it's an attacker sided map, right? So
Attackers are
WeSports,
moving
you know,
to
they're
defuse the
chilling
bomb.
on this 2-4 split. They can do a lot of things, especially in considering how Spliz mainly popped off on Villa when he was playing the Stinker character. You know, I got high hopes for this team.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how this lineup works out. The difference between the lineup here, well, the gridlock actually coming out, which I'm surprised about. Not surprised because I'm more or less, well, I'm surprised, but not in a bad way, but more in the way of she doesn't get picked as much as she probably should in a conflict. And the reason why I say that is because gridlock is a really good operator for denying flanks and really holding down those flank positions that come in from the defenders. And it's
That's true.
interesting that she's not picked as much as she should be. I mean, Nomad, even when Nomad is banned, teams don't usually pick her,
Attackers
even
drop the
though like
diffuser.
she's usually, like, Nomad is usually banned on maps like Cafe and whatnot. She's still not picked, and it's odd that teams don't play her as much. But she's being played here, and I want to know. I feel like I know the game plan, but I want to see how they implement her into their execution. As it looks like WeSports have finally made their way into the map with a minute that gone by on the clock.
I mean, I'm thinking, when I think of gridlock on Coastal, I think back to
Okay.
Tokonami, a final visit. If you're playing Siege for a little while, F2 gets that kill, by the way. If you played Siege for a while, you remember Tokonami, the old Navi roster winning at that Siege LAN event. And I distinctly remember one of the Navi players playing gridlock did a 1v1 run that was absolutely insane. As, oh my god. It wasn't Yoki, it was someone else. It might have been Saves? It was a player who's not on Navi anymore, I'm pretty sure. So,
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
I think they're on
Attackers
Navi
have
anymore
dropped
as
the
far as
bomb
I remember.
diffuser.
But you can see a Pit is
Attackers recovered
really
the bomb
aggressing on this.
diffuser.
He wants to go for the peak. He's just waiting for the little bit of information. Yeah, speaking of information, Hunter walks in as Rudy whips a few shots, and Hunter gets away with his life and gets that kill. I mean, Rudy, I don't know where he was aiming for. He kind of went to the left there a little bit. So that was a bit unfortunate. Hunter throwing a bit of HP, and if there's a corner station on that Aquabar, he can get some group back up. And Sarah picks up a nade kill as the man advantage swings in favor of esports in this round. But you gotta remember, there's no C4s, but they do have 2 smoke grenades, and Hunter's on very low HP. Which could be more things. Icox takes out F2 and his HP becomes 0, but the refrag still coming up to qvG as it brings it back into
Attackers have recovered their
2
diffuser.
with 20 seconds left. The very other player of esports is all the way across the map on 2 wide. It's Hunter fighting all alone on the side. His teammates can't do anything to counter him, and Sarah is picking up so much such little HP, and it's all down to poor Hunter. Hunter HP has to win 2 1v1 duel with 3 seconds left on the clock. Hex wins that fight, and it was a 4v2, I think, for the side of WeSports, and then the refrag, those 2 players alive, Kex and F2, I want to say. The last 2 players alive there for the team of qvG just pulls up strong. And it's exactly like you said, Mombi. You know, when getting qvG are back into a corner and that low man count is spring into action and just get a flurry of kills and bring themselves back into the game.
Yeah, it's a good round from qvG, but I don't really know what happened there with WeSports. They seem to be in a really good position to get the plant off. I mean, the setup there, the setup for them was right there. They had no nitro cells from below. They didn't have any nitro cells to be thrown at them. It's not like they did. They knew that, but they didn't. The setup,
Defenders,
their
protect your
setup
bombs from being
into sight,
defused
their
by attackers.
execution into sight was perfectly well set up for them. And it's a mystery how they didn't really take more advantage of it. Even with the gridlock in play. Like I've said it when the gridlock was first picked. I was like, gridlock should be played a lot more because even she's not exactly, she is kind of like an alternative to Nomad, but she's not like quite that great, quite as good as Nomad is at her job. But it's a mystery how even with the gridlock in play, even with the operators, even with the utility that they did have, and with the way that qvG were set up in that situation, with how far back into the corner that they were in, the fact that they didn't have any nitro cells from below, the fact that they didn't have any nitro cells to toss from hookah into billiards, it's a mystery as to how WeSports threw that round, because it was a throw. It was a throw, in my opinion. And there goes the first kill for F2. He's probably gonna. What the hell? That's 2 kills for F2. All from that. That's not. That's not how that's supposed to go. What? That's not in the script.
The script.
What?
What's the script? But I mean, a bad start for WeSports as they lose not only Gridlock, which you were hyping up, but they also lose a sledge on tower. So vertical play is going to be very difficult, especially considering the site is below. So it's most likely going to be a very horizontal take. But I don't think the WeSports are aware of Sir Googie playing so close to his door. If they were, they probably would have, realized already. The drone comes out and Googie goes for the run out, and Lycox all the way far back managed to get the kill because guess what? The person joining Spliss, he's prone behind the sofa. He's chilling. He's just watching some YouTube videos, taking a bit of time off.
He didn't see his head?
I think you could see a little bit of foot.
By
but we talked about F2's plays and how he brought it into a 3v5, and then suddenly WeSports jumped back, made it into a 3v3. So, don't count them out just yet. F2 is probably staying in disguise. I did so much work, guys. What happened? Why is it? But speaking of that, qvG do pick up that kill as just Pit picks up Spliss. Almost couldn't just Pat again. That's why but Pit picks up a kill, but he does get hit off yet again as Hex picks up one more, and it's all down to Icon versus Hex here. He's gonna be stuck in this rotator from the smoke grenade. He's not able to escape. That's so sad. He's stuck in the hole.
Oh man, that's just...
The 200 IQ bad rotation from F2 coming in clutch as perfectly calculated.
You see what fucking Coxie said? He said, oh man, oh my god, my head hurts.
That's a bit trolly. I mean, I don't know what you guys are talking about. That was obviously a perfectly calculated strat from F2. His rotation was made in such a way that if person can crouch in easily, so when the smoke grenade comes out, he's gonna try to run away, and he's gonna get stuck onto the rotator because it looks like he's gonna do it. So
I know you're trolling, but that's just Siege in a nutshell with those rotations that you just can't even. That happens so much where like you make like a perfectly good rotation that you should be able to go through, and then the game will like glitch you back or it'll keep you into the room when they know you need to rotate the most. That's just some Siege BS, but I feel it wasn't like he was gonna win around and. They had a smoke in play. They had the utility in his favor, in their favor.
It was a 1v2. He had to in hand, a lot of time left, and he could have maybe got that first kill. So maybe someone would over-aggress. So never say never, but I guess we'll never find out because he got smoked off. Unfortunately for him.
He didn't even. He wasn't even trapped in there. He could get out, but Siege with his BS kind of trapped him in. I feel bad.
Yeah. So for those who don't really know, like. Siege rotations are very glitchy, and what Bombi basically saying is sometimes, I'm sure it's happened to you as well, right? Sometimes you go through a rotation hole and you get teleported back and like, man, it sucks. It's because like, it's because the difference between like your client side and server side and thing, and then client side is big enough for you to go through, but on server side it's like because of I think the ping difference, something to do with like how your character actually is moving. It's not big. I don't really understand. It's weird. I don't know how that works, but regardless, qvG on match point, you know, they've stomped back after that first map loss 8-7, and they've come back to avenge themselves, let's just say, on this map, as they've got 6-2 up. But don't count out WeSports just yet, you know. They still have the power, and you know, stranger things have happened in Siege, let's just say. So, you know, let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, ultimately, it's been a different story on this map. It's not as close as it was on Villa, but like you said, don't count WeSports out. They most definitely got some fight in them, and if they need some fight, they need it now. This is potentially the last round before we end up having this series come as a draw. Here goes the nade. That's a perfectly good nade from Cokes, and oh my god, Chef's kiss. Cokes grabbing the first kill into Just Pit, and if there's any player they need to take out right now, it is between Just Pit and qvG. But F2 is also having a decent game, and so is Kex. Kex silently having a good game himself. But Goody is going to be able to grab the trade there on the key. He just reacts a little bit too slowly on Spliz there, and there he goes. He gets a kill just as quickly as he gets a kill. He gets killed himself, and it's now a 4v3 man advantage for WeSports. But it's 3 of the most dangerous players on qvG Academy that are still alive. So qvG, F2, and Kex. Kex is going to be the first one to be lit up by one of these WeSports players. And it's about 1 minute 10 left to go. WeSports are in a good position to win this round out, but qvG, even when they're down, even when it looks like they could potentially lose a round, they always find a way to fight back into this game, and that could be through qvG, but he is killed by Spliz, who's hanging on big window, and it's now a 4v2 man advantage for WeSports with 50 seconds left to go, and the plant is going down. Wow!
And yeah, clean round from WeSports. Wow. clean round. I was gonna say clean round. Perfect execution, that nade coming out, they got the plant, they got exactly what they wanted to do. But the question now is it a little bit too late, you know? A little bit too late for them to be able to get rounds like that, because you gotta remember qvG on match point, that's a scary proposition, considering you have to win the next 3 rounds. They can go to any site they want for the next 3, they can test out all the waters. I mean, they're gonna have to see a masterclass from WeSports if they want to win this back. It's one of the probably. It's going to be very difficult, you know. Let's just say it's going to be very difficult, and if they really do want to bring this back and win this game, they're gonna have to pull out a. I've said that. I literally just said that, didn't I? I did, didn't I? That was a papega from my brain. It happens sometimes. I'm like, as I was saying, I'm like, I just said this. Why am I saying it again?
Attackers need to locate
And my brain
and
was like,
defuse
you
bombs.
just say it. So I said it. But
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
anyways, they're gonna be going on to kitchen right now. Ignore my weirdness, but we're gonna be going to kitchen. Like I said, Kex is gonna be playing onto that frost. F2 is gonna switch off back to the smoke. And have we seen WeSports defend kitchen so far? They've defended hookah. They've defended penthouse. What was the other side defended? Was it?
It was
defended, yeah, the blue bar, of course, because of the rotation.
Yeah.
So they haven't gone to kitchen yet. This is the first time going to kitchen.
5 seconds
So
left before
it's going to be interesting to see how they set this up. It seems to be that they're going to be holding upstairs. They have all of the reinforcements up here. They have these kind of what do you call this? The utility up here. Yeah, the rotate coming. Okay, yeah, there's definitely an upstairs hold. I'm not sure if they're going to be holding hookah just as well or not. Like with the go shields and stuff like we saw WeSports do. But regardless of that, it seems to be just a normal upstairs hold. How is WeSports? Oh, and the frost traps. Don't forget the frost traps. You know, these frost traps, they can come at the most unexpected times. So, especially considering the position of them. You know, you walk into the room, you're gonna hold left because you're aiming down backside, and you're gonna walk into the frost mat. That's a very good one. But let's stop talking about these frost mats and talk about WeSports, because they're gonna be trying to enter site and they're gonna be going for this penthouse, going straight ahead and trying to contest to these players on qvG, as the Sledge has actually already entered himself into VIP. Avera, someone playing by hookah as the Jaeger of Pips, giving away his position of pre-firing the wall, just trying to provide, just be a nuisance, guys. Duty is actually trapped in this corner, and he's trapped He's on very low HP. A single bullet will take him out. He needs to be careful how he plays this. He does have some teammate support. Nope, never mind. No, like he's playing in 90 corridor. I thought he was playing inside of side. They're helping him out, but he's going to be helping hit maybe jump sled as shots come out. As Zarok is now literally players on both of these sides. Literally 1 HP. As Goody, not Goody, sorry, Kex gets that kill. It looked like Goody had gotten that first kill, but Kex managed to get that kill. I'm not sure if was that through the floor. I don't think he's upstairs. So I think that was maybe through the floor. Or maybe a frost trap, actually. That could have been a frost trap kill. In that case, that would be really funny. As Zarok refrags on to Googie, but Pit is there to refrag Zarok. And now we get to a spicy territory as WeSports have the man disadvantage. They're going to have to go for these kills. As Blizz, in that position there, gets on Googie. But he walks into the frost trap. Boys, I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but you know what I said? I said you're aiming down sides, pushing that room. You're going to walk left. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to die. And, F2 from below just gets, I guess, a notification. He knows exactly where the shotgun, and the man disadvantage goes back into the hands of WeSports. And that frost trap actually could be what ends up winning qvG this round.
It's a 3v2 between these two teams, and it doesn't look that great for WeSports, who are actually staring down the barrel of this not being the map. What the hell? Being the map for qvG is not even a couple, just a lot of missed shots coming from Hunter as F2 gets away with his life here. And the one thing to remember about F2 is that he has the shotgun in hand, so if he wants to, he could switch to it, just get into like a little tango with Hunter. But they only have 20 seconds left to go. Here goes the swing from just Pit, and there goes another, and he ends off the round and the map in style. It is a draw between these two teams. I mean, it was a good first map. It was a good second map as well, but mainly for qvG, and it wasn't as we didn't see as much esports.
You didn't see as many fights. As much fight.
Yeah.
I feel like WeSports just took it a little bit too easy, especially in that first half. You could see them trying to fight back in that second half on the attack, but on the defensive hold itself, they were just a bit too passive, a bit more easygoing. Which ultimately I think is why they managed to lose that game. But honestly, if I was a player on WeSports, I would take it. A 1-1 draw against league leaders qvG. It's nothing to snuff at. It's a good point, and it puts them in a really good position to be able to get to qualifiers. So, you know, we take it. It's a 1-1 draw for them. And that, I mean, qvG are guaranteed the first place anyways by round differential, but now that they've secured the point, that puts them on 20, which 100% guarantees them no round differential BS, because they are 4 points ahead of second place Machine Soldiers, and even if Machine Soldiers win that last game, they're still going to be 1 point ahead. So, best, congratulations qvG on winning this season of Talent League. Can we get a round of applause a little bit? Okay. Thank you. Producer is clapping, but no one's going to hear that because he's not in the team. So, just me, unfortunately. But yeah, we're just going to wrap it up. It was two very, very entertaining games. I hope you guys had as much fun watching them as I had casting them. As always, I've been Yeager. I've been joined by the lovely Wumby. And good night and stay hydrated.
Angles in there. Oh, Matrix! What a shot! Maybe two.
Axis goes down. He couldn't get King is on a silver HP. His health bar is flashing red for no reason. Because, well, there you go. And
Which versus happening? No, he's there, but they don't seem to react. Typical finds a double up. No, there, but no reaction.